Cut. Devo, how's it going, man? How you doing? Afuka. Lexicodal. Giovanna, how's it going? No one remembers second place. Okay. Certainly. Inflation. Printing. Currency. Fiscal. Policy. Bank. Okay, so inflation, currency, bank policy, economy. Oh, good. Okay, so I've got to link all the way to policy. So certainly to policy. Certainly better. No. Certainly to second place because my roommate makes gum. Certainly. Money. Yeah, that wasn't a great one ever. Policy, better. Fiscal. Okay, inflation, economy, fiscal policy. Expensive. Courtesy. What courtesy have to do with that? For anyone wondering what the game is, we have to try to get from certainly all the way to inflation using words in the middle that have like similar meanings. So like inflation linked to economy makes sense. Economy is linked to fiscal. Fiscal is linked to policy because fiscal policy. Certainly to policy. Yes, certainly to policy. Certainly. Obligation. No. Rule. That's actually not bad. Okay, so policy to rule. Rule to standard. Rule to courtesy. General. Principle. Whoa. Okay. So inflation, money, principle, courtesy. So courtesy to certainly, and that's where we are now. Courtesy to certainly. Must, should, would, could. Okay, that didn't go anywhere. Okay. So either we can go the must route or the courtesy route. They're both pretty similar in terms of distance, but ethics. Other side. Courtesy. What am I thinking? Niceties. At that point, we're just. I mean, I'll do it, but at that point, we're just doing synonyms, which will just get us nowhere. Oh God, we're just getting tangled in a web. Okay, so must to certainly. Okay, so you certainly have to do something. We must do it. What's the difference? What's the difference? Economy's already in here. Feedback. Loop. Positive. Influence. Oh, for fuck's sakes. What is this? Okay, so certainly positive, better. Man, we're just making a web of shit at this point. Jesus Christ. We're getting nowhere. Okay. Rule to positive. Change. No. Yeah. Wrong direction. Okay. Positive. Okay. Certainly to better. Must to right. Positive right. In my mind, right to must we should be able to get somehow. How does negative get us anywhere? Okay, it's bad. Goods? Yes! Okay. Thank God. Okay, my God, this is a dog shit game. Username, I hate you for recommending it to me. My God, that took so long. Yay. Okay, what do we got there? Okay, that took some working around, but we got there. Thank you, Giovanna. That was actually very helpful. Just a random web of words gave me like a sort of rough idea of how the game structures links. That was very helpful. Thank you. That was fun. It's actually a game that I can actually use chat for and not feel bad about. Because if I'm using chat for Wordle, I feel so bad. I still do it, mind you, if I need to, but I still feel bad about it, you know? 523. Cooperation. Who's cooperating? Let's do one more quick game. I don't know. When taken. Okay, let's just this one will be much quicker. TC team up. What is TC? Oh. TC. True creator? What in the what in the actual fuck is this? Oh, Tarot Club. Oh, I see. What? This looks like the map of Antarctica or some shit. How the fuck am I supposed to get this? I don't know. 1886. Philippines! How was I possibly supposed to know? Oh, sorry, you guys can see. This was the fucking image. I'm supposed to somehow guess where this was. Okay, like this. Am I crazy? Does this look like the San Francisco Bridge to anyone else? Burns, Phillips, something. Now we're gonna go with San Fran. Fuck up. If this is wrong, we're gonna be on the opposite side of the fucking world. 19 late 40s, because other early 40s would be Australia. Other side of the world. Fucking said it too. Sydney. Oh, that is cooked. And this seem vaguely German to anyone else? In der Mir, Niet. Oh wait, Niet. Is that Russian? Niet. No, wait. Better made a boom. Is this French? Nagito, how's it going? Please tell me DSV or one of the other Frenchmen are here. Tell me if this is French. No. We is definitely not French. Want. There's like enough English where I think this is German. Is that crazy? Yeah. Like, better is similar. We want was major French. I took a couple years of French too, but there's enough English similarities that I think this might be German, because English is a Germanic language, obviously, so there are similarities. We're gonna go Germany. Fuck it. What are we thinking? 1940s. There's only one mod. Oh, it's yeah. There's also like sub 10 people. We're okay. One mod is plenty for the moment, Nagito. Listen, BMW Group. It sounds funny. Could be Dutch. Thank you. Listen, you said it so late, Devil. How is this my fault? This is German, yeah. This is German 2015 onwards for sure. Because those are the new BMWs that look dog shit. The good one, there used to be good ones in the 10s, so we're gonna go near Berlin, why not? 2016. Munich 2014, very close. I'm cooking pasta. Okay, well, we'll give you a break. Okay, last one, and then we really have to start reading. Bombing refugee camps, hospitals is not so free Palestine. Okay. Well, this could literally be anywhere in the world. These protests happen everywhere. I have no information. This girl obviously tells me we're somewhere in Western Europe or America or Canada. But I don't know. Bro. Socialist Worker. Socialist Worker Party. UK? This woman does not scream Egypt to me, Nagito. 2024, yeah. Giovanna, that makes sense. I'm thinking the UK. Is that crazy? Socialist Worker Party makes me think UK. I don't know why. If I go London and I go 2024, we're taking, I guess. We are the fucking legends. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Got the UK from socialist worker. That is some absolute A-grade shit right there. What the fuck? Someone get me a medal for that one. Okay. Let's get started. By the time he left 47 Blackhorn Street, Klein had figured out Wendt's general situation. He had disguised himself as a police officer and learned from Wendt's neighbors. Saimim Island, the island at the furthest end of the Rorstad archipelago. From Bayam, it'll take 4 to 5 hours to get there by liner. And there are only 2 trips a day, 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. respectively. Wendt's parents are long dead and he has no relatives. The only person involved is a girl he just can't forget, Rain. She's the perfect target for my first performance as acting as someone else, but just thinking about how I need to confess on Wendt's behalf. It feels so awkward. If the girl agrees, damn, how am I supposed to wrap things up? Klein thought with a troubled expression. He tried to recall the novels he had read and the movies and TV dramas he had watched, hoping for the perfect solution. Soon he received a general idea of what to do, stabilized his mood in the process, and began to drift towards the matters regarding Steel Mavetti. I hope Miss Magician will get a radio transceiver as soon as possible, Klein sighed. Backland, Sherwood Borough. Forrest opened a letter Gio had brought back. It came from the science fiction novelist, Avelle, who was pleased to share with Ma'am Wall the future development and applications for radio technology. Forrest skipped over the beginning and middle content, her eyes sweeping to the end. He introduced 3 types. The most expensive is just £12. Forrest nodded slightly, feeling that this wasn't a very important business transaction. She felt her self-esteem. She suddenly felt her self-esteem a little inflated. Perhaps because she had seen so many hundreds and thousands of pounds of transactions in the Tarot Club, she no longer paid much notice to anything in the range of tens of pounds. Mr. World has the resources and finances. In the future, I might need to buy items from him or sell things I don't need. I'll just add postage, my transaction cost, or my transportation cost, and the price of the materials expended for the ritual. Forrest made up her mind and subconsciously looked out of the window. Backland was still gloomy, and light rain still drizzled down. However, the fog wasn't as thick as before. I wonder when I'll get the Spirit Eater's pouch from the sun. Forrest couldn't wait to advance. Bro is trying to do the hardest quest in the world, talking to women. Who is? Oh, Klein, yes, of course. In the Burge household, in the City of Silver, having already prepared the Spirit Eater's stomach pouch and the materials of the Hanged Man, the Hanged Man wished to acquire, Derek was in no hurry to sacrifice them to the Fool. He planned to wait a while longer until the chief was leading an expedition team or presiding over a particular sacrificial ritual before making an attempt. This is the safest and most reliable way. Be careful and cautious, Klein reminded himself before flipping open the Giant King's Court, Book of Blackrock, hand-copied edition. Recently, he had been reading this ancient tome. From it, he was able to understand some of the faces of the Giant King's Court from ancient times. According to the ancient tome, it was a court of God. Does that just mean that... Is this just referring to the fact that Ormir is a god? Or is there... Because if there are several gods, then it would be the court of gods, right? So, unlikely to be that. Time seemed to have frozen there, and as though it was suspended in eternal dusk. All the buildings were extremely grand and magnificent, even reaching into the clouds. Humans who walked inside were exceptionally small, and they revered the owner of this scene from the bottom of their hearts. That doesn't sound... my thought was maybe this was above the Grey Fog, but that doesn't sound like it, because it says the buildings are reaching into the clouds, whereas in the Grey Fog, everything begins inside the clouds, so unlikely. Backland. Hillstonborough, Waymundy's house. See, these little things, I don't know how they're gonna... Obviously, this is really far into the Donghua whenever they get to this, but, like, I don't know how they would do this, because it's like a really short thing. It's like maybe 30 seconds with each person, and then it switches to another POV, and it does that like 3 or 4 times back to back. Backlands, Hillstonborough, Waymundy's house. I mean, they'd obviously have to change the order of things or change how things are done for them, don't I just don't know how this sort of thing would be done. After listening to an explanation, Emlyn combed his hair with his hands and intentionally asked, "Lord Baron, I forgot where I heard it from, but there was a very famous City of Silver during the Second Epoch, or perhaps in the early Third Epoch. Waymundy was a vampire baron whose age exceeded over 200 years. He didn't look old, he just looked like a mature gentleman in his 30s. He said thoughtfully, "No, at least in my memory, there's no City of Silver before the Cataclysm. But there's a Kingdom of Silver which was originally ruled by the Giant King's Court and later came under his jurisdiction." Very good. Lord Baron, is there anything more specific? The Kingdom of Silver has a rather special position in the Giant King's Court. They didn't directly believe in the Giant King Ormir, and instead they believed in the Giant King's Court Queen, Umbella. What? Sorry, I'm gonna put this in my notes really quickly, but who the fuck is this Umbella person now, bro? Coldwater, I don't think I've seen you here before. Thanks for popping by. How you doing? I just finished volume 2. It was good. Agreed. So I had a similar feeling. I think or at least what I was thinking when I first finished volume 2 was that volume 2 as a whole was better than volume 1, partially because it was so much longer and like we're starting to get like a much deeper world because we have a basic understanding of it. But the ending, I did prefer volume 1 to 2 for sure, because that ending of volume 1 where Dun dies and we get that revelation from In Zongwil is like some crazy shit I could have never seen coming. So I agree, but someone left a good comment on a video, and I'm starting to reconsider how I feel about the ending of volume 2. I'm gonna have to try to work out how I'm feeling about it now, and then I might make a video on it later. Because someone talked about how volume 2 in China is like one of the most favorite volume endings because of the like societal implications of what's happening and that sort of stuff. So that's cool. Starting volume 3 is already peak. Gehrman is so peak. Agreed. Gehrman is so far my best persona. Sorry, my favorite persona for sure. He's so cool. Yeah. That's awesome. Are you about in the same place I am, Coldwater, or a little bit behind? I'm on 523 at the moment. City of Generosity, Bayam, Dock Area, Acid Lemon Street, Wind of Azure Inn. Klein stood at the corner of the street, undid the topaz pendant on his left wrist, and divined to ensure there was no danger ahead. I want to check something with you. What's your notes on the original 517? Oh, so you're like, okay, so you're right with me. Okay. Okay. What's my notes on the original creator? I can just pull it up. Okay. Let's just see. Or no. Original. What is happening? Where's my? Oh. Okay. Why don't I have anything on the original creator? True creator stands. Not that one. The creator woke up and smited the dragons. The ones that were left could only hide away in dangerous areas. Whatever. That's fine. True creator stronger than EBS. Whatever. That's fine too. True creator. Maybe. Oh, wait. Hold on. Together with the Amon and the Tail Devourer, they had benefited from the death of the creator and succeeded in advancing to sequence 0. OG? No. Okay. There we go, I think. If I really need to make a connection, the Lord that created everything, the omniscient, omnipotent God, had shown powers in the sun domain. Could Amon be of his family descendant? Whatever. That's fine. Land forsaken by gods, ruled by the giant family, worshipped the giant King Oromir, were saved by the Lord, omnipotent God, and will never betray the Lord again. The chief told me that he recalled some unverified documents. The omnipotent, omniscient God had his attention on this piece of land. He had several angels surrounding him. There were 8 of those angels, whatever. Including, among them is the Son of God. Whatever. It suspects that Amon is the angel of time. Among the murals depict angel of fate. I don't know. Nagito asked for my notes on the true on the original creator. So I'm just going through them. Omniscient, omnipotent creator equals ancient sun god. Yeah, that's the extent of my notes. Not I should really fuck. I'm gonna eventually I'll have to find the creation myth, and I probably want to write that down in my notes too. I should have it. Wait, I think I understand it. Look at the creation myth. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find it. I don't know it offhand. Wait, isn't the only thing you know about omniscient? I know. Well, I know that. I know he's now the ancient sun god. I know he had 8 sons, the kings of angels. I know the theory goes that maybe the 8 angels killed the omniscient, omnipotent god, and then advanced to sequence 0 using him, something like that. So. My main theory through the last has been true creator has been has some personal tie to Klein, maybe some type of entertainment. Wait, omniscient god is not ancient sun god? Wait, what? People assured me he was. No, you can't do this to me, username. Is that Klein has some personal tie? That's interesting, Coldwater, but couldn't it just be that that for some reason the true creator is threatened by this ancient gray fog or whatever it is, and that's why he's taken a personal interest in Klein instead of like having a personal vested interest in Klein himself? He's just interested in him by virtue of him having the gray fog, maybe. The city of silver dudes believe ancient sun god is the reawakening. Oh, I see. Okay. Klein stood on the corner of the street, undid his topaz pendant on his left wrist, and divined to ensure there was no danger ahead. But believe, yeah, I get that. Yeah. That's probably where the wires got crossed. I see. Okay, yes, let me just adjust that then. So it's not that they are the same, it's that they're believed to be the same. I don't, like, at that point, that's just a verbiage difference, but... Okay, dope. Let's keep going. Verbiage is very important with deities and their believers, though. True. And divined that there was no danger ahead. With that in mind, he strolled back to the inn, went up to the 3rd floor, and opened the door of the luxurious suite. He was slightly surprised to find Blazing already back, slumped in his reclining chair, drinking. After a moment of consideration, Klein calmly asked, "What time is it?" "Isn't there a clock?" Danitz muttered. He looked at the wall opposite him and said, 3:40 p.m. Before he finished the sentence, Danitz came to his senses, sat up straight, and laughed dryly. "I've already gone to the places I can get information from and asked people I can. There's no need to stay outside any longer. It will increase the risk of exposure and affect your hunting plan." "So tell me what happened." "What problem could there be? Although I'm mainly an adventurer who hunts treasure, I'm also a qualified part-time pirate." Danitz felt that his abilities had been insulted. After being swept by Gehrman with a cold gaze, he smiled and gave a brief overview. Hearing Danitz sigh that a captain of a ghost ship named Alger knew about Banshee Harbor, Klein suddenly wanted to frown. The Hanged Man's relationship with the Church of Storm. Even before I controlled the world to actively mention it, he didn't know about the anomaly at Banshee Harbor, so how could Alger have known? Is there some powerhouse of higher standing in the Church of the Storm who's disguised as a pirate? Or someone who has some sort of relationship with the heretics in Banshee Harbor? Mr. Hangman has been active in the surrounding areas, so there's a possibility that it's him. Klein's heart stirred as he recalled the characteristics of the Hanged Man. It's been 30 minutes. Yes. Oh. Oh, is it in Discord? Did someone send it? Yes, we're a little behind today, Bullseye, because we keep getting caught up on stuff. One of these days, I'm gonna say like, hey, fuck it, I'm not even reading chat. We're just straight up reading. Okay. Okay, let's go through the creation myth one more time. I read this like 6 times, but let's do it again. The Creator awoke from chaos and shattered the darkness, creating the first rays of light. He then fused himself completely into the universe and made up all of existence. His body became the land and stars. One of his eyes became the sun, while the other became the crimson moon. Some of his blood rushed into the seas and rivers, nourishing and nurturing lives. So seas and rivers, let's say 5. His lungs turned into the elves, his heart turned into the giants, his liver turned into the treants, his brain turned into dragons, his kidneys turned into feather serpents, his hair turned into phoenixes, his ears turned into demonic wolves. And this time, yes, I will add it to my notes this time, thank you. His mouth and teeth turned into mutants, and his remaining bodily fluids turned into sea monsters, of which the essence was Naga. His small and large intestines and the evil parts of his body turned into devils, evil spirits, and various different kinds of unknown maleficent existences. His spirit became the EBS, the Lord of Storm, and the God of Knowledge and Wisdom. Okay, so that's why these are the 3 oldest gods. That makes sense. Although going off of this, so elves 1, giants 2, treants. What is treants? I know I looked this up the last time I spoke to, but fuck it. Treants, large plant-based creatures. Cool. Malfeasant. Okay. Tree-like creatures. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 10, but that's only 10. I don't know what to make of this, though. Like, I really don't know what to make of this. Lore. I feel like this should be the first thing in lore before anything else. You forgot to count Naga. I think I counted the Naga. Oh, well, I counted sea creatures. Should I count Naga too? Okay. Above the grey fog, although he couldn't clearly see the other members' appearances, it was still obvious as to whether they were man or woman and what color their hair was. Klein raised his hand to stop Danitz from speaking. He said in a low voice, "Very messy hair, dark blue in color? You know him? That guy isn't simple," Danitz sighed, as expected. "I really didn't expect to meet him so easily." Klein didn't respond and instead leaned forward and said, "Continue." Without thinking too much, Danitz gave a general description of what happened and explained himself. As you know, no one can be sure when they'll get anything or trying to get information. After finding everyone who could be found, the only thing to do is wait patiently. This'll take some time. "There's another solution that doesn't require waiting," Klein deliberated. "What solution?" "Use bait." Bait? In a second, he came to his senses. Only he could be the bait. Simply put, bait was a highly risky species. That's not a great solution. That's what my intuition is telling me. I really should be able to get something from the Red Theater. I'll go over there to take a look. Danitz took his coat and rushed out the door. Klein originally wanted a tail blazing to see if he could find out any other clues, but he heard a layer of illusory prayers. It was from a man. Klein went into the bathroom and went above the grey fog and saw the hanged man's star constantly burgeoning and shrinking. As expected, Klein sat down and leaned back in his chair. Honorable Mr. Fool, I'm currently investigating a key related to Vice Admiral Iceberg. I met Blazing Danitz at a casino and learned that he was a witness at the anomaly at Banshee Harbor. I also learned that he plans to join forces with a powerful figure to deal with Steel Mavetti. I suspect that Blazing Danitz is working with your blessed, so I've prayed to you. If that is indeed the case and he wishes to receive a certain degree of assistance, I can be of help. The hanged man has indeed guessed Gehrman's identity. He likely only had his suspicions, but successfully located verification by inquiring about Banshee Harbor from Danitz. This is good. With the help of an experienced local, the plan to set out Steel Mavetti would be much smoother. Unless it directly affects the Fool, there's no mentioning of the hanged man to entrap a blessed. Judging from his attitude and expression, he doesn't have any suspicions towards the Fool yet. After making a divination, he conjured the world and covered up the dummy with fog. He placed him in a praying stance and answered solemnly, Honorable Mr. Fool, I am in need of some assistance. After finishing the scene, Klein threw the voice along with the scene into the crimson star symbolizing the hanged man. Ah, so clever. $524 meeting. Oh, by the way, for anyone that's a member, the video should be available now. For everyone else, the video that I put out will be available tomorrow morning, or in like 12 hours, basically. 5 p.m. Olive Tree Avenue, Pam's Divination Lodge. Alder Wilson pushed open a brown wooden door with panes of glass situated above it and entered the cafe that had a mysticism theme. He ordered a cup of Fermo coffee with the Paz Valley and the Star Highlands of the southern continent. Bro, that is so many words. He took out the tarot cards he had bought earlier and placed it beside him. The top card was the Hanged Man, depicting an angel hanging upside down with his hands tied behind his back. Unlike this morning, he had changed into a dark classical robe and wore a clergyman's beretta, like a warlock or a magician from folklore. Good lord. After taking a silent breath, Alder slowly sipped his coffee, not showing any anxiety from waiting. 5 or 6 minutes later, a young man in a black tweed coat and a half-top hat walked in. The gentleman's appearance wasn't even 30 years of age. His face was thin and angular. He had both a mature and gloomy temperament. It was none other than Klein, who had slightly modified his appearance and changed his persona. He wasn't wearing gold-rimmed glasses, but his eyesight was unaffected. With a casual sweep of his eyes, his gaze landed on Alder's dark blue sideburns. Oh, I think this is the first time we've met any of the Tarot Club members in person, right? I mean, Klein has, obviously. Without a word, he walked over, took off his hat, and said, I'd like to have a divination. As he spoke, he had already taken in the appearance of the most senior member of the Tarot Club. Deep facial features, rough outline with a clear, weathered look. It's obvious he was a person adept at fighting and is often outdoors. Emlyn. Oh, yeah, I guess Emlyn, true. His skin is bronze in color, but it differs from those of the natives. He is like the result of a pure Loanese being battered by the elements for years, but the dark blue hair is more peculiar. Something that doesn't belong to Lone. It's closer to the colonists of the Desi Bay. Mixed blood, Klein made his judgment. Alder looked at the gentleman across from him, slowly superimposing the image with that of the world. He then pushed out the tarot card and said, This requires you to shuffle and cut your own cards. Sorry, give me 1 second. So I guess they're gonna just make sure that Alger picks the world to make sure it's the right person, and then get down to business, I guess. Alger looked at the gentleman. No party. Klein reached out and picked them up, spread them fully to take them in. Following that, he gathered them together and did a reshuffle. He cut the cards continuously and took out 3 cards and put them in an arrangement of past, present, and future. Klein slowly leaned back, but he turned over the middle tarot card with his right hand, showing a naked woman wearing only a purple scarf surrounded by the green wreath like a door. This was the world, number 21. Number 22 and returning to 0 symbolized the Fool. How should I interpret this? Klein asked deliberately. Although the Hanged Man hadn't... Jump scare 2 minutes into the video. That wasn't the intention username, but I don't often use my own footage in videos, but I'm gonna try to make it more common, because it just makes editing a lot easier, because it's like a span of time where I don't have to constantly find footage, especially because right now for Lord of the Mysteries, image, when I'm talking about volume 1, is so hard to find, because I'm like, fuck, like what I can use is so limited, because I don't want to use any spoiler stuff. He felt that being honest about it aided in establishing his image. Yes, if Alger hadn't guessed it, then it was an act of being open and confident. If Alger already knew about the matter, it would make the world appear at ease. Real footage. Yeah, exactly. That's my problem, username. Even now, like I'm gonna start using more and more of it. I just wanted to use a little bit for the first time, but yeah, I'm gonna use more of it in the future, because it'll avoid with repetition, because there's a point where like I'm like, okay, listen, I have literally all the footage I can get my hands on, and I'm so short. He knows, I know. He already believes that I've guessed it before raising the topic above the grey fog. Impressive. It's inverted. It means that things will slowly fail due to a lack of preparation. What kind of preparations are needed? Klein asked. Alger took back the tarot cards apart from the world and skillfully reshuffled and cut the cards. Then he flipped it. It was the Hierophant. You need advice. You need the help of faith and religion to avoid going down the wrong path. Without waiting for Klein to speak, he continued the sequence and turned over the second card. It was the Moon. You will be confused. You will be exhausted. You will be wandering in your dreams, but this is only temporary. Lastly, the Sun. Everything shall pass, and the light will shine upon this land. He spoke like a charlatan. Church, dream, sun? That's right. So the hidden hints for the follow-up plan during the tarot. He had hidden hints for the follow-up plan during the tarot divination. Out of nowhere, empty hate, love. In fact, in a situation where he had no skin in the matter and wasn't even noticed, there was no need to be so tactful. He could already describe things in detail, but Alger felt that he still needed to test out a blessed like the world. He wanted to know if he was smart enough, rather than relying on his strength. If their intelligence was on the same level, Alger felt that they could cooperate more in the future. There was no need to talk too much between smart people. On the contrary, he would try not to involve the world in his own affairs. He would only ask for help when needed. Now, the world response and previous performance had confirmed that he was a sly, vicious, and experienced. Hey, I'm a tarot card expert. On such matters, Mr. Hanged Man, you're just a rookie, Klein secretly laughed. For the assassin pathway? Okay. Good lord. Alright, well, last time you were getting mad at me for being slow, and this time you're slowing us down, Nagito. What's up with that, man? Okay. Assassin. Okay, sequence 9. Can transform their bodies, whatever. Witch turns you into a woman to possess. Instigator can trigger evil desires from people's hearts. Become a Demoness of pleasure, Demoness of affliction. Now I am sure the number I can get rid of this. Demoness of despair. Sequence 0 assumed by client to be primordial demoness. And then what's number 2? Owned by the Faceag Empire. They're great trackers, trapmasters, hunters are the nemesis for assassins. Yeah. And then the last assassin is when Rosal was assassinated. That's it. That's all I have. All right. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. The message hidden in the Hanged Man's interpretation was very simple. The Hierophant meant that he wanted to inform the Church of Storm about Blazing Danitz and steal Maveti, and then use the power of the Punishers to divide the enemy and reap the benefits. Actually, look at Nagato. Alright, last thing, man, and then I gotta get to reading. Okay, I have to. Primordial Demon. Okay. Okay. City of Silver doesn't believe in the 7 Orthodox deities, but they believe in death like the Southern Continent. They also don't believe in evil gods, primordial demoness, whatever. Real name of the primordial demoness is Cheek. That's literally it. I might have that wrong username. I was going off of memory there, and I thought he based it off of Madame Daly, in the sense that Madame Daly was Klein reverse engineered that Madame Daly was able to digest her sequence 9 potion because she was already acting as a spirit medium, so she was inadvertently she was already doing acting, and then he based it off of that. And then he used the maxim that O'Neill told him about. O'Neill told him about the whole "do as you please, but do no harm" or whatever. It could be that I might have that wrong. Okay. This was something Klein often used, but there was no difficulty in understanding. The moon and the sun cards, which followed, were a reminder and warning from the Hanged Man. Since the Punishers were involved, a certain amount of caution had to be taken. According to Alger's experience, his colleagues in Bayam would definitely use a sealed artifact that could force many people within its range to fall asleep. When dealing with similar issues, Maveti's characteristic meant that there had to be a specific item in the sun domain which targeted him. I'm immune to dreams, so I'm not afraid of the sun. Klein reached out his hand and half-turned the inverted world card, turning it into its proper position, meaning that this plan was feasible and that he would make preparations. Alger raised his head. The master here specializes in aromatherapy. She can use the fragrance of different essential oils, extract incense, and flower essence to treat corresponding emotional problems. Do you want to try it? Okay. The two of them looked at each other as they remained motionless. They stopped talking about the aromatherapy anymore, as both of them had already laid everything out. Klein didn't stay any longer. He took out his pocket watch, looked at it, and slowly got up. Let us praise God. All divination outcomes come from His revelation. Oh, you even know how to express your loyalty. Let us praise God. He took 2 steps away, then suddenly stopped and looked back at Alger, chuckling as he put back his hat. Frankly, you weren't suitable for that type of attire. Huh? When Klein left the themed shop, Alger retracted his gaze and looked in the mirror in the corner and took a good look at himself. Initially, he didn't find anything wrong. However, after the world's remark, he found it more inconsistent the more he looked at himself. Finally understanding why he said that. A fellow who looked boorish and hardened, one appearing capable of summoning 100 sailors at any time to beat up his opponents or bring out an axe and chopping them into pieces, really shouldn't be wearing such mysterious classical warlock robes. It made his bearing somewhat abnormal. Can I take permission to bully you when you realize the... Yeah, sure, go nuts, Nagita. cool thing, I'm just gonna not avoid learning it for until the end of the series, so get fucked. Cathedral of Waves. Alder, who had changed back into his original clothes, kept a low profile and followed the worshippers into the hall. He took advantage of the act of making a confession in order to meet the bishop Chogo, through the priest in charge. After saluting, he went straight to the point. I met Blazing Danitz, who claims that the key that the Vice Admiral Iceberg left has nothing to do. Iceberg possesses has nothing to do with Death's treasure, and that they're even willing to sell it. He entrusted me with a mission to take note of Steel Mavetti's whereabouts. Apparently, he was injured by the second mate of the Admiral of Blood, and is in a rush to escape from his pursuit. Well, if assuming I get some more information about whatever you're talking about, Nagato, I might have a chance, but I can't just retroactively get it. So, I mean, I know you deleted the message now, but like, Your Excellency, I wish to leak this news, making Steel Mavetti and his subordinates successful in cornering Blazing Danitz, and use this opportunity to capture them all or execute them on the spot. This will be able to effectively keep the arrogance of the pirates in check. Very good. The way you do things is better than I expected, the bishop replied. This all stems from the Lord's guidance and from your teachings. In the evening, I'll find a suitable target to leak this news to. If I come to pray again, it will indicate that Steel Mavetti temporarily isn't taking action. If I don't appear, it means that I might be restrained by him or his subordinates to find any news from leaking. This means that they fell for the trap. After giving details of the location and other matters, Alger returned to the confessional and left as normal. 7:15 p.m. Amris Leaf Bar. It's something you can understand from your notes. I believe you, Naito, but I don't even have any reference on what. Like, obviously you keep mentioning it, so it has something to do with Assassin Pathway or Primordial Demon S, but like I don't know what that means. What? Alder, wearing a pair of baggy pants and head towel wrapped around his dark blue hair, stood in a boxing ring and held a glass of Lanty Proof in his hand. With a mocking expression on his face, he looked at the two contestants with bruises all over. Soon, he noticed his target had entered the room and was heading straight for the bar counter. After a while, he sat down next to the thin man and said with a chuckle, I heard that Steel has arrived in Bayam. The man tilted his head. Why don't I know about it? Is that so? It looks like Blazing's fooling me. Alder smacked the table and drank a mouthful of alcohol. Blazing Danitz? The man asked. Yeah, that's him. I met him this morning at the Gold Coin Casino. The damn fellow claimed that Steel was in Bayam. How dare he lie to me? The thin man's eyes darted without interruption. He finished listening quietly, stood up and chuckled. I forgot. I have something to do. We should have a game of cards another time. He patted Alger on the shoulder and left in a seemingly unhurried manner. Alder held a glass of alcohol, half turning to look at his back, but his eyes appeared deep and gloomy. There were no signs of a smile at the corners of his mouth. So he knew. Okay, you looked at it today? I looked at a lot of stuff today, Nagato. I don't even know what that's in reference to, man. 5:25. Okay, so we're only like 4 minutes behind schedule, despite all the stops. So that's really not that bad. Looking at the wall clock and seeing that it was past 8, Alger put down his mug and pushed through the drunkards into the street. If I point you too much, Romero will kill me. As the Rorstad archipelago was rich in coal, Bayam was like a mainland city of Baklan and Pritz Harbor. Its streets were lined with tall black lampposts, and the lights of the burning gas effused with the metal grill, illuminating the relatively clean street. Hold on. We're in boss music now. As the Rorstead archipelago was rich in coal, Bayam was like the mainland cities of Backlund and Pritz Harbor. Its streets were lined with tall black lampposts, and the light of burning gas effused through the metal grill. I've already read this. Alger pulled off his headscarf and slowly turned into a side alley. At the dead-end alley, he could smell the scent of urine mixed with alcohol. Although the Amherst Leaf Bar had a bathroom, it clearly wasn't enough for the customers during peak hours. Some of the drunks who couldn't hold it in would find a secluded place to relieve themselves. The red moonlight penetrated the clouds and shone into the valley. While Alger was still considering whether he should put on a more convincing act, a firm, pervading voice came from behind him. "Did you purposely leak the information about Blazing to us?" "He's not stupid," Alger muttered to himself. 7 or 8 steps away, he saw a figure leaning against the wall. He didn't express this point in deliberate. It's a description of the man. He's 1.78 meters tall, boat-shaped hat. His face was thin and sharp, and wore a look of aggression. Even though there were quite a number of differences between a wanted poster and a person in question, many famous pirates didn't even don disguises as they wandered into the city. Alger had seen many photographic portraits drawn with rituals and had participated in pirate conventions. He was still able to successfully link the man in front of him to a name on the bounty poster. But he didn't express this point and deliberately hesitated before asking, "Calm Squall?" He was the chief helper of Steele Mavetti, a beyonder who was good at controlling his emotions and thinking calmly, but he was also inhumane and had a 1,500-pound bounty. The man revealed an empty smile. "Can I deny that?" "Well, probably not, just like how you can't deny that you deliberately mentioned Blazing to Oamaru. He's not someone who enjoys using his brain." "I've never thought of lying. I only wish to obtain some payment for the news you received from me. Between Blazing, who's alone, and Steele, who has many helpers, anyone with a brain would know who to choose. Otherwise, I wish that you kept it a secret. I don't want to be pursued by Vice Admiral Iceberg." Alger replied. "Tell me the specifics," Squall nodded. "Like I mentioned, I bumped into and recognized him at the Gold Coin Casino. He entrusted me to take note of Steele's whereabouts. It seems like he wishes to launch a counterattack. We agreed on a point of contact. I believe this intelligence is worth at least 1,000 pounds. Alright, thanks for popping by, username. You should go to bed, dude, if you go to bed. £1,000? Look up at the crimson moon. Are you dreaming? This might be a trap. Don't you understand that? Blazing might very well have found helpers, which is why he dares to seek us out. No but, username, go to sleep. It's not for me to judge whether it's a trap or not. £500. Less than that, I'd rather pretend that nothing has happened. Alger attempted to argue on the basis of reasoning. £300. You have to follow me somewhere and stay there for a while. It's to prevent you from selling this piece of news to others and spoiling our plans. We'll pay you when we capture Blazing with the intelligence you provided or have his spirit channeled. Don't worry. Food, alcohol, and a bed will all be free. Regardless, you lucked out. If there are any accidents that result from you, you'll know the outcome. Sure enough, just as I expected, with my background being unknown and with me not being too dangerous, the possibility of them choosing temporary detention is much higher than silencing me. But I already made preparations for the worst case scenario. As long as I'm not too careless, escaping shouldn't be a problem. Alger deliberately acted like he was in a dilemma before saying, no more than 2 days, or my crew will leave with my ship. I'll inform them if it exceeds 2 days, Squam said. After Alger described at some point, a short scalpel appeared in Squam's palm, and he was making a jump and spin like an acrobat. Interesting. After Alger described in detail and the point of contact, 15 Amherst Avenue, and the corresponding communication methods, Squall didn't speak further. He turned around and led Alger as they turned at every corner, and they arrived at an unknown street before entering a nondescript house. Long time no see, blue-haired captain of a ghost ship. The door was opened by a man with hair that had more white than black. He was dressed as a local and wore a pair of baggy pantaloons. Old Quinn, you really are an intelligence officer of the Blood Admiral, Alder said with astonishment. Old Quinn chuckled. There's always some truth to rumors. What you imagine to be fake might very well be real. You'll stay here a while. My friends and I will be in charge of watching you and providing you with alcohol and food, old Quinn said with a laugh. To show you our sincerity, my fucking god, it is sleep time, clearly. We're not going to disarm you. All right. Old Quinn closed the heavy stone door and locked it behind him. Squall didn't linger on, but hurried away, checking repeatedly to see if he was being followed. After changing into a rental carriage, he came to a lone enclave in Bayam. It was also the residential area of the upper class. As he entered a garden bungalow, Squall saw Mavetti sitting on a sofa, waiting for him. Steele's lips were thick, his skin swarthy. I don't know what swarthy means. His hair was curled up like steel balls often seen in factories. Is the intel reliable? He asked. Squall nodded. He's a pirate captain who serves money. I've already detained him at Old Quinn's place. If there's really a problem, he definitely won't be able to leave that place alive. I think he knows that too. Swarthy, dark-skinned. Interesting. Okay. However, we still have to be wary of accidents. This might be a trap by Blazing. Do you have any ideas? Mavetti asked. The first thing he saw was a pirate lying on the couch. He was wearing a brown local tunic and swirling a yellowish-brown straw hat with his fingers. This was Mavetti's deputy of this round of operations. He was the captain of the 6th ship, which was lost in the battle with Vice Admiral Dusk. Why some churches are enemies? Because their potions can be interchanged at high sequences. He had a bounty of 3,800 pounds. It's clear that Squall has a plan, Hendry said. Squall chuckled and said, Didn't that adventurer John Smith send Mordor to join us under cover? Let's deliberately leak the news to him, making him think that we're still waiting for help, that we can only take action the day after tomorrow or 3 days later. Those bunch of greedy adventurers definitely wouldn't let Blazing off. They'll definitely fall over themselves. When the time comes, we can find a spot to watch the show. If there are any accidents, they'll be the ones bearing the brunt of things. If everything's successful, we can also call them. All right, Steele Mavetti said. In the early hours of the morning, everything was ready. Blood Brambles Hendry brought out a leather suitcase, took out a peacock blue carpet and slowly spread it out in front of him. There were many mysterious patterns on it that had a non-human flavor. Mavetti, Squall, and 2 other Beyonders, as well as 8 zombies and puppets took their place on it. Henry was the last to step on, closing his eyes halfway and reciting one word in Elvish. Flight. They have flying carpets? I mean, I know we have ghost ships. You saw 2 groups who are enemies in your notes? I saw a lot of groups that are enemies in my notes, Nuggets. I don't know what you're referencing, man. Okay, I'm going to assume you're referring to the Primordial Demoness. We have flying carpets. What in the fuck? So are you referring to the whole hunters are nemesis for assassins? But I would assume they're referring to like a hunter's abilities can counteract an assassin. I don't think they're... I guess you're implying that hunters and assassins can be interchanged at high sequences, I guess? Maybe? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I would never have gotten that from this information, because In my mind, Nemesis means their like a hunter's power counteracts that of a Nemesis. I wouldn't assume they're like their organizations are enemies, but and hunter makes you male and assassin makes you female. That part, okay, that part is obvious. I probably should have gotten that. Hunter and assassin can be changed at higher sequences, so they probably have the same super god, I guess. Okay. All right, since we're already here, let's just do a divination really quickly. Okay, you don't have to be that mean about it, Nagito God. Are hunters and is the hunter and assassin pathway interchangeable at higher sequences? Well, the divination says no. But you've been bugging me about this for like 2 days, so I'm gonna assume probably. So I'm gonna assume you're not just trying to push me down the wrong path. Okay, cool. The peacock blue carpet tightened suddenly and floated upwards, lifting everyone from the ground and into the air as they flew towards Amherst Avenue. During this process, Henry pulled out a black handkerchief and shook his wrist, turning into the night sky, which magically covered all traces under the moonlight. In 7 to 8 minutes, they arrived in the area around 20 Amherst Avenue. Diagonally across from them was the targeted house. They didn't move forward. Instead, they let the flying carpet hover silently in front of a crown in a thick tree as they lay prone to observe the situation. Time passed, second by second, as Henry steadied the mystical item. There was no signs of a lack of spirituality. The night slowly passed, and the horizon was suffused with a faint red glow. The sun was about to rise, and the gang of pirates led by Steel Mavetti began their preparations to find another suitable spot for daytime surveillance. At that moment, a figure nimbly moved across the rooftops with his back bent, arriving at 15 Amherst Avenue. He wore a black coat. It was none other than Blazing Danitz. Danitz looked around cautiously for a moment, then climbed up the raised chimney and pushed his hands through it and slid down. He's really here? Steel Mavetti, Blood Brambles Henry, Squall, and company felt their spirits lift at the same time. At the same time, several figures sprang from the chimneys of the periphery of Units 13, 14, and 17, and rushed over with fast and potent stances, either breaking the windows, kicking open the door, or using the chimney to rush into Unit 15. Alright, 526, so we're gonna have a fight. I should get some fighting music going. Oh, I'm too sleepy to do a fight right now. Oh, good lord. That's definitely not it. Let's go. I think it's probably it's just one of those days, I think, Nagito. The Rorstad Archipelago was the lone kingdom's governing branch of Central Sonia Sea. Similarly, it was a key diocese. Is it just me or is it... Okay, the music is really loud. The Rorstead Archipelago was the lone kingdom's governing branch of the central Sonia Sea. Similarly, it was the key diocese of the Church of Storm. It had a high-ranking deacon who was part of the Council of Cardinals, permanently stationed here. Of course, even a pirate at the level of an admiral might not be able to stir such a powerful figure into action, much less when it dealt with a second mate and a boatswain. As a result, it was left to the deacon Cordoba Roy, who happily accepted the order and led two mandated Punisher teams to activate sealed artifact 237 and 2111 to lay an ambush at a distance from 15 Amorous Avenue to be absolutely safe. From Cordoba's perspective, a team of Punishers with 2 sealed artifacts was plenty to deal with the pirates, consisting of Steel and Blazing Danets. But the latter's intention of keeping an eye of his pursuer's whereabouts caused him to worry. Instinctively, he felt there was a problem, so he called for an additional team of the mandated Punishers. Actually, just having 237 is sufficient. As he waited, Cordoba suddenly sighed. In his opinion, this sealed artifact would be the nightmare of Steel, Blazing, and Company. He closed his eyes and the information appeared in his head. Number 37, Dream of Eternity. Danger grade 2, to be used with dangerous. It has to be used with care and moderation. Security clearance, Bishop, Team Captain, and above. Sealing method, placed in boiling water. Description, it has the appearance of a heart. It's black in color, feels ice cold to the touch, and is filled with holes, making a sound like a flute. The item originates from a primitive tribe in West Balam on the southern continent. They have spirit warlocks as their leaders and are nocturnal. You know that if I set up, you will just be reading, so you won't have to access if you're slow. Nah, I appreciate you here, Nagito. At least with you here, I'm getting some kind of feedback. Otherwise, I'd probably end up just falling asleep. A lone army company conquered the tribe, received the object they revered on the altar, and in the week that followed, there were cases of soldiers acting abnormally, going mad, and committing suicide, and so on. Research showed that as long as one comes into contact with this item, they will enter a long dream. If not awoken by someone else, one will forever remain in that illusory world. On the surface, they will appear frustrated, fearful, and confused. One's mental state will gradually change. The researchers who were awakened were still unable to tell the difference between reality and dreams for a long time, which led to a series of tragic events, including but not limited to expressing love to their superiors, kissing the mouth of a venomous snake, suffering from depression, undressing and running naked, and attempting to bathe in boiling water. If they weren't transferred to another city, the only possible outcome would be madness and suicide. This item can be used, causing all creatures within the target's surroundings to fall into the same dream. The user can choose the target to a certain extent and excluded companions. The effective radius is a maximum of 50 meters. How much of that you suffer from? Like 30%. Beyond that would burden the user tremendously, dealing severe psychological damage. The user will enter a state of being unable to distinguish reality from dreams from the matter, and will have to leave the city where 237 is located for a chance at recovery. Bro, if the new Witcher game doesn't have Gwent, I'm not interested. Oh, it'll have Gwent for sure, Bullseye. There's no chance around that. A Witcher game without Gwent? That's like water without hydrogen. That's crazy. Many examples, see appendix, show that even without contact, this item can affect the surrounding population greatly unless it's placed in boiling water. It is similar to the effects of a nightmare from the Evernight pathway, but much more prominent and uncontrollable. It's just giving me examples right now. I really don't care. He gestured with his hand, signaling for the Punishers to open a golden box engraved with numerous symbols and magic labels before taking out a sealed artifact 2111. It could maintain the original temperatures of the object inside, and to a certain extent, it could change the weather, producing the sun holy water rain. I'm thinking of re-downloading Witcher 3 just to play Gwent. You know, there's a Gwent card game on your phone, right? If you just want to play that. Of course, it also had negative effects. Otherwise, the mandated Punishers would have long used it to seal 237 instead of using a temporary trick. The most unacceptable negative effect was that no matter what object remained in prolonged contact with it, it would become infected with the characteristics of life, and would piously believe in the EBS. With the mandated Punishers, a table had already appeared that sang praises of the EBS. And there was a candle that wished to light itself every second to purify everything. I love that. That's not real, Gwent? Okay, fair enough. If you're gonna do that, like my favorite thing ever was there was a Gwent tournament in the what's the oh my god the Blood and Wine DLC Toussaint. There was a Gwent tournament in Toussaint. Oh, I found that so much fun, dude. Bullseye, you broke my streak. I had 11 comments without interruption. In response, the mandated Punishers had turned the table into a pile of firewood and lit it using the aforementioned candle. I wish they did more with the Viking deck. I don't know. I always use the monster deck. It was like that was my favorite. Seeing figures appear one by one and dashing towards 15 Amherst Street, Cordoba didn't hesitate to press down his right hand, ordering the team members to activate 237. The loser, I'll just copy paste the stuff about the 237 into my thing really quickly. Into my notes. I don't really care, but now that it's already here, fuck it. If we won the competition, I'll buy Bloodborne and Elden Ring. Okay, sounds good. I didn't know you weren't chill like that. Wow, okay. Wow. A man can't just have options, eh? No. I get it. It's all good. Okay. What deck do you use? Because obviously not the Viking one, because you say wish they did more with it. So what's your go-to? This is why easy. Wow. Okay. This bitch. Wow. I didn't know we were picking favorites like that. Okay, I'll remember that next time, bitch. An illusory fish scale immediately appeared on the surface of the member's palm, and he directly grabbed the sealed artifact that resembled a pitch-black heart out of the boiling water. The melodious sound of a flute rang out, and dense darkness enveloped the house at 15 Amherst Avenue. The scene before the adventurer John Smith remained the same. It was still the bare, unfurnished living room and the black-cloaked, blazing Danitz. He didn't appear like he was in a dream. They ran over with all their might, fired, and used their own abilities to successfully injure Blazing and capture the famous pirate with a bounty of over 3,000 pounds and was involved with the key to death. Seriously, what deck do you use, Bullseye? However, in the real world, they were sitting with their legs up or swimming with their arms stretched out or using their fingers as guns with their mouths making shooting sounds. No, I do. But not my main because it's too limited, but Northern or Elves. I'm not an elf hater. Dwarves forever. So you use the Northern deck? And you're gonna give me shit? Okay, cookie cutter vanilla eating piece of fucking basic bitch? What? This motherfucker uses the Northern Army? And he's gonna give me shit about Monster? Okay, brother. This motherfucker. My bad. I do hate elves. Yeah. Okay, that part is kind of based. Fair. But use the Northern Army and you're gonna give me shit? I don't respect your authority. Wait. There's a Rick and Morty clip for this.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yeah.
Every breath I take without your permission raises my self-esteem.
Yeah, fuck you, dude. You're gonna give me shit. Get the fuck out of here. Northern Army using cookie cutter motherfucker. This fucking guy. What did you think this was, huh? You used the Northern Army and you thought you had some moral high ground to speak to superiority to me? Get the fuck out of here. No. Move out. Cordoba left his hiding place and rushed over to the house in 15 Amherst Avenue, and the other Punisher teams were divided into two groups and began encircling the house in different positions. My man can't appreciate it. Dude, kill me. I can't even spy. I hate that fucking card so much. Oh my god. I can't even. Ugh. Just seeing that word in the context of Gwent already raises my heartbeat. Fuck. You can have the perfectly laid out plan and two back-to-back spies just straight up nuke you. Yes. They immediately understood that this was indeed a trap set by Blazing Danitz. This son of a bitch. He actually defected to the Church of Storm, Mavetti growled. But Blood Brambles Henry looked at Squam and sincerely praised him. Fortunately, we weren't careless. It's called strategy. It's called being a bitch, okay? How about you get better numbers and then fight me like a real man? What the fuck is a spy? You're like, no, look at the fuck you. In fact, I didn't expect a foolish donkey like Blazing Danitz to cooperate with the Church of Storm, Squall said. Perhaps the injured him was already captured by the Punishers and had no choice but to cooperate. Just as they were about to leave, they saw something protruding from the shadows outside 15 Amherst Avenue. Something was sticking to the ground and quickly moving away. Blazing steel, Mavetti recalled a sense of his failed ambush. Danitz! Henry also recognized the man who had tried to escape with his magical powers. Squall was taken aback for a moment before coming to a realization. Either Blazing wishes to use this opportunity to escape the Punisher's control, or he has other traps to use against us. But for some reason, the Punishers were attracted, so he had no choice but to give up and flee. I will not take this from a monster spammer. Get fucked. Steel Mavetti's hopes were momentarily raised as his eyes revealed his abnormal look of mania. That's the thing, Bullseye. I wasn't... If you just... I'm finally going to witness Wiz Crash. Dude, if Bullseye just asked me, like, hey, what deck do you use? And I said Monster. And he said, oh, cool. And then I said, oh, what deck do you use? And he said Northern. We would both be like, this bitch uses Monster, and I'd be like, this fucking cookie cutter motherfucker uses Northern. No problem. We could have both been calm about it. But as soon as I say monster, he starts giving me shit. So I'm sorry. This bitch go. This streak goes two ways, motherfucker. What did you think this was? I also use elves. I thought you said you hated elves. Oh, but you still use the deck? I mean, elves are fine. I'm not going to give you too much shit for elves. Elves are, I mean, you can use that. The deck is fine. That's a normal deck. I got no issues with that one really. But I was making rice for the gumbo and came back to beefing. I didn't start it, okay, Giovanna. I just want to say I didn't start it. I will finish it though. Regardless, this is an opportunity. As long as we seize this minute, we'll be able to kill and take away Danitz under the nose of the Punishers. Steel Maveti's hopes were momentarily raised as he revealed a look of mania. After Squall nodded, he said to the two Beyonders, "Take my zombies and puppets and guard this position. Once the Punishers are here, use them to create chaos and escape." "Yes, boss." The peacock blue carpet made a turn and shot out for blazing. "Provide us support. Mainly be on guard against the surroundings. I'm worried that Danitz has other helpers." Squam seized the moment and said to Blood Brambles Hendry, "I hate elves as living beings, but as a deck they're pretty bad." Yeah, exactly. It's not too OP and neither is it too weak. It's like fine. It'll give you a good degree of challenge. A smile appeared on Hendry's pale face. "All right." Without saying anything else, Squall nodded at Steel Mavetti. Relying on his advantage from being high in the sky, Mavetti was able to distinguish the normal shadows, determining the direction of the target. He suddenly jumped off the flying carpet and landed heavily on the ground like a giant boulder. White frost condensed under his feet as a layer of cold, transparent ice suddenly spread to the sides. The black shadow was immediately frozen to the corner. With a crack, Blazing Danitz struggled to break free, growing out of the shadows. I can't stand pointy ears. I don't have anything like against elves really, but I think the way people portray them or like people receive them from media, it just makes me hate them in general. Does that make sense? I don't know. That might be like the most autistic way of saying that, but I think you know. But I think you know what I mean. With a crack, Blazing Danitz struggled to break free, growing out of the shadows. On the flying carpet, Hendry showed their good teamwork by dropping what he long held in his hand. They were green leaves, flowers, and brambles. The leaves, petals, and brambles grew wildly in size or joined together, ensnaring Blazing Danitz, making him immobile. Squall took the opportunity to jump off the carpet and thrust a sharp scalpel into his right palm, towards Danitz's neck. Splat. He held onto the handle of the scalpel with his right hand and circled around to the back of the target. Danitz's head fell off and his body quickly shrank, turning into a thin, tattered paper figurine. Except they're women, but leaf lovers in general are bad. Dark elves better than elves? True. At the same time, Mavetti had an indescribable sense of hunger bearing down on him, like a terrifying monster hidden in the darkness watching him. No, it's not blazing. Just as his thought flashed through his mind, an extremely compressed, incandescent fireball flew over from the rooftop, smashing towards his body. Steel Mavetti only made one move, and that was to raise his arm in front of his body. The flame exploded, and the shockwave radiated in all directions, blocking Squall's and Hendry's line of sight. However, they weren't flustered at all, as they had the utmost confidence in Steel. Sure enough, Mavetti only suffered from having his clothes torn and his skin covered in white marks. Apart from this, he didn't have any injuries at all. But at that moment, he suddenly saw a figure walking out of the rolling flames in the sky. He was wearing a black coat belonging to Danitz. but it had neatly combed black hair, dark, emotionless eyes. The Danitz from before had always been faceless Klein, Gearman Sparrow, who was always prepared for the hunt. Let's go! New easy, just drop time to whiz. To abandon whiz chick. What? Greetings, Justin. How's it going? Fight music is already on. I vastly overestimated when the fight would start. Alright, Klein, beat his ass. Okay, and based on the title, this shouldn't take too long. Okay. Just as he leaped out from the flames, the 2 points of light in Klein's eyes, who wore golden gloves on his left hand, enlarged in size and changed from dark to bright, as if they were lighting that suddenly cut across the sky. After distracting Steel Mavetti and company's attention with the paper figurine substitute, he had activated Creeping Hunger and switched to the Interrogator's soul, planning to use the psychic piercing Beyonder power. Steel Mavetti suddenly cried out miserably as if someone had stabbed a knife into his head. Stirring his grayish-white brain, a feeling of pain came from the depths of his soul, instantly occupying his mind. At the same time, his Beyonder powers erupted from the irritation and turned him into a hurricane that spread out in all directions. Dan, it's... You know, the... Oh, good thing that guy wasn't... Yeah. At the same time, his Beyonder powers... yes. Suddenly, beautiful snowflakes began to fall from the sky. Layers of translucent ice began spreading outwards, and the trees on both sides of the road were covered with white edges. They withered so quickly, revealing traces of decay. The lingering resentment of the remnant spirits was successively awakened. They sobbed, wailed, and shrieked, causing the nearby areas to be dyed with a gray and repressed color. Klein naturally descended from the sky, his left glove shining like the sun. He opened his arms and leaned back as if embracing something. Just as his heels touched the cold ground, a pure blazing pillar of thick light descended from above. Priest of light, light of holiness. This holy radiance enveloped Steel Mavetti, illuminating his dark skin, firm muscles, and steel-like hair. Without a sound, Mavetti's expression became even more twisted, and his skin began to show signs of melting. At this moment, he was like a candle that had been thrown into a burning fireplace. Compared to the corrupted Bishop Millet as a zombie, he was weaker towards such attacks. The damage he took was even more serious. The snowflakes stopped falling, and the ice on the ground quickly melted. The trees that had white edges revealed their brown color. Praise the sun indeed. Oh, I can't, because I can't yet, but oh my god, praise the sun would be a great emote to have. Oh, I will get that in time. That's like a really good idea. There was no doubt that a powerful beam of light had caught the attention of Blood Brambles, Hendry, and Squall. The former's expression changed as he reached into his secret pocket and pulled out materials casting magic. He planned to use the terrain as an advantage to save Steel Mavetti. At this moment, a raven made purely out of flames suddenly appeared before his eyes. 1, 2, 3. Countless flame ravens filled Hendry's field of vision like crimson stars. They flew from all directions, flapping their wings in a dense, scorching hot formation. Henry's heart skipped a beat as his gaze seemed to freeze. He suddenly moved his hand elsewhere to grab another type of material. Whoosh! He scattered light blue powder on his body while he chanted in ancient Hermes, "Sea waves." The powder suddenly expanded and turned into dark blue waves that spread out in all directions. When they met the fire ravens, they made sizzling sounds and created a large amount of white fog. The fire wave from the previous explosion had subsided a little. Through the remnants of the crimson light, Squall saw that Steel Mavetti's skin was melting like wax, and his skin melted inch by inch. He saw the unfamiliar man in a black coat standing next to him. He didn't panic. Like a cold viper who had lost its emotions, he calmly raised his hand and abruptly pressed both of his palms down. In a split second, he saw the thin, grim-faced young man's body sink. His movements turned slow, as though the wings he had used for flying had just snapped. As for Mavetti, he began to struggle and roll in order to avoid a second round of Light of Holiness. Immediately after, Squall noticed that the man had lost his weight and thickness. Once again, he turned into a thin paper figurine, pressed onto the ground by an invisible force before soaking into the mud that came as a result of the melting ice. Klein phased into existence from another position. He rubbed his right thumb and middle finger together and snapped 3 times as he rushed forward. The sunbird-shaped golden brooch in front of him flashed continuously as it added a purifying element to his air bullets. Oh shit, oh he's hitting him with that. Bang, bang, bang! The 3 bullets connected at an extremely fast speed and hit the slow-moving Steel Mavetti right in his chest, penetrating his half-melted skin and flesh, creating an exaggerated, gruesome wound. Golden flames spread in all directions. Squall tossed out scalpel after scalpel, but they were all dodged by Klein's deft acrobatic maneuvers. At that moment, Steel Mavetti had gotten a breather. With a push of his palm, he stood up again and charged straight at the enemy, fully displaying his advantage in close combat, as well as his abnormally strong body that could withstand powerful blows. Ice formed under his feet again, and his fists effusing a rotting aura. Then once again, he saw 2 bolts of lightning shoot out from Klein's dark brown eyes, shooting into his own. Steel Mavetti subconsciously raised his head and clenched his teeth, his nose, mouth, ears all leaking blood. While shooting the air bullets, Klein changed the soul he was grazing. It was still Interrogator, and it was still Psyche-piercing. I suddenly feel like I've gotten hit with a small sun. I have to leave. Like, I don't even... Okay, no worries, Eridus. Have a great rest of your day, buddy. Against a Beyonder like a zombie who had a body as tough as steel, dealing damage to the spirit body was far more effective. With the repeated strikes, while the repeated strikes made Mavetti's body stiffen for short periods of time, he lost the shackles of reasoning. Black, firm hair grew from his face, 1 strand at a time, while his teeth and nails constantly grew longer. His skin squirmed in a bid to coalesce, turning from black to white. He was like a real crazy zombie thirsting for blood. Klein took this opportunity to close in. He bent his body and bruised Steel Mavetti's shoulder. He then stuffed the item in his hand into the hideous wound that he had created into the man's body. It was a bottle with a few ordinary brass bullets, but inside it was a large amount of sun holy water that Klein prepared in advance. Oof! Klein, who didn't stop, caused Squall's attempt to control him to fail again. With a twist of his heel, he moved behind Steel Mavetti, his back to him. He raised his right hand, snapped his fingers before Steel Mavetti could pull out the glass bottle. Bang! A light explosion rang out, a fiery crimson light soared, shattering the already fragile glass bottle. Large amounts of sun holy water inundated Steel's body. The infamous pirate with a bounty of 6,000 pounds froze where he stood, his throat letting out an anguishing groan. He plopped to his knees. A dark green gas in his body was pouring out and disappearing into the air. At the sight of this, Squall's eyes darkened. He immediately took out an iron-black charm and muttered a word in ancient Hermes. Shriek. The charm suddenly cracked and vanished like completing a sacrifice. Good lord. An invisible sound wave swept outward like a tsunami, almost successfully drilling into the ears of everyone present. Klein's mind buzzed. The tip of his nose went cold. Blood oozed, and Blood Bramble's Hendry on the flying carpet was in an even more miserable state. His face twisted and his body convulsed as he fell down, unable to even let out a scream. On the contrary, Blazing Danitz, who was far away, wasn't subject to any effects. He happily threw out another blob of highly compressed incandescent fireball. The fireball landed on Henry's body without resistance and exploded with a loud boom. Flesh and blood splattered outwards, flames wrapped around his fingers, calves, and body and head before he fell to the ground. The flying carpet then lost control and slowly settled down. Even if a flying carpet does lose control, what happens? It just comes down. Squall took the opportunity to turn around and run, not hesitating in the slightest. However, he was stunned to discover that the terrifying man who almost finished off Steel Mavetti within 10 seconds didn't seem to show the slightest sign of being impeded. He turned around and gave chase. How is this possible? A shriek charm created by the Admiral? Squall had no time to think. He ran as fast as he could. At that moment, his head was suddenly hit hard by someone. A tearing pain made his whole body spasm. A lightning in Klein's eyes faded as he raised his right hand and snapped his finger one more time. An air bullet crossed the distance of about 10 meters and accurately drilled into the skull of Squall. Squall didn't have the non-human endurance that Steel did. His vision immediately blackened and he fell to the ground. Klein surely gets all their characteristics, right? Klein caught up with him in a few steps, reached out his left hand, and let the jubilant creeping hunger enjoy the meal. I have even heard the voice of the true creator before, and have experienced Mr. Door's call for help. I have great resistance in this aspect. I can even recover quickly from a shrieking of a wraith, let alone a mere charm, Klein muttered to himself, as he watched Squall's body be reduced to flesh and blood and plunge into the creeping hunger's mouth. After a few seconds, creeping hunger came to a satisfied halt, and Klein returned to Steel Mavetti's side. The zombie had been miserably purged. As though his head remained intact, he was already dead. Steel Mavetti's a zombie. What sequence is that? Is that a 7? 6. Whoa. I need show recommendations? What type of show, Bullseye? Like, what are you looking for? I can give you recommendations, but like, are you looking for a long show? Are you looking for a sitcom? Are you looking for like a short show? Are you like, what are you looking for? And man, Klein just killed another sequence 6 like it was a fucking joke. Creeping Hunger is so good. Klein took a few steps forward, picked up the peacock blue flying carpet that fell to the ground, wrapped it around Steele's body, and lifted it. Glancing back at 15 Amherst Avenue, he listened to the commotion of the rampaging zombies and puppets and sensed that the Punishers were approaching. Klein pulled the hood over his head, bowed slightly in that direction as a salute, and pah! Klein rubbed his fingers together and all the paper figurines around him were set ablaze, producing crimson red columns of fire. Under the light of the fire, his body turned illusory and he vanished from where he stood, with the items turning into a shadow. As for the Beyonder characteristic of Squall and Hendry, which were slowly coming into existence, he didn't take a look, nor did he pay any attention to them. Greed would cause an unnecessary amount of danger. Besides, the harvest he reaped now was enough. After leaving some of the Punishers to deal with the rampaging zombies and puppets, the pirates had been damaged by his companions, and the Beyonder adventurers who were caught, Cordoba Roy led the rest of the team and rushed over. However, all they saw were scattered corpses, scalpels, and withered trees on the streets. They could distinguish the receding aura of the sun, as well as the evil sensation that came from the depths of flesh and blood. 5:28. Look at that. We're actually 5 minutes ahead of time now. Look at that. We made up so much time. Grazing. Oh, he's gonna take the zombie's power. I guess that makes sense. Fuck. So he's not gonna be able to sell his characteristic. God damn it. Well, I guess he doesn't need to sell his characteristic right now because he doesn't need money. He needs to digest the potion first, so it kind of doesn't matter. Where are we at? 5:28 easy. Thanks for popping by. How you doing, Easy? Show length doesn't matter. It can be action, comedy, fantasy. Sure, can have some romance. Steel defeated. Yes. Bullseye. Ooh. I just finished watching The Rookie. That was pretty decent. Not like great, but like solid 7.5. The only shows I really never really watched are Lucifer and Doctor Who. Like those are the only shows you've ever seen. Did someone? Yeah, we were talking about Gwent for the Bullseye and I were talking about Gwent for the longest time. Did you play a lot of Witcher 3 Easy? It was early in the morning and the sky had just brightened up slightly. Most of the alleys were dark and quiet. I'm still watching it and both goated. Oh, I assume you're referring to Lucifer and Doctor Who. The one with the catapults. The one which... Oh, fuck. Which one's the catapults again? It's a siege card. Oh, my God. You use the northern too, don't you? Catapults are northern, I think. I'm pretty sure. In Witcher 3, the first in lady can give you one dupe for a busted catapult deck. That, yes. That one I hear is good. Yeah. Okay, Bullseye. Loki probably planning on playing Witcher 3 after. I know! I was thinking the same thing! No, it's blue? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. My thing is, I love The Witcher 3 so much, but I love the DLCs so... I play Black? Oh, I see. I love the DLCs even more than the base game. Like, I love the base game, but Toussaint in particular... Like, a Heart of Stone is good, but Blood and Wine is like an absolute 11 out of 10 in my heart, dude. I could just... literally watch the fucking winds and farms of Toussaint just like in their beauty forever. It's so beautiful. Holy shit. With the aid of Danitz's cloak, Klein blended into the shadows and quickly moved about. He felt as if his surroundings were grayish, black, and transparent, with all reality being blurred. All sounds seemed to come from the depths of the starry sky, empty and distant. We seem to agree on a lot of things. True. But you also have to imagine what kind of like Romero, how's it going, man? What kind of people like come to the random conclusion to live stream a read through of a web novel? That was like never even an idea that I had ever seen anyone ever even do. Like this was like you came to this idea all on your own. And I never knew you were streaming this until I started streaming, and then like a couple people told me about you. Like in way, like it's so crazy that we both had the same idea for the same web novel, like 6 months apart. In fairness, but like that is correct. Like, so it kind of makes sense that we'd have some sort of like a similar personality type that would overlap to some degree. But yeah, that is funny as fuck though. Heart of Stone is okay. The boss fight and upgrades were the things that we're carrying. Yeah, the boss fights were... Like, the more I play it, the more okay I become with the story. But, like, the whole Prince Toad bullshit that's right at the start is, like, annoying as fuck. Once we get past that and we're actually into the Gontaro Dim story, like... It's a lot of running around constantly, which I'm not a huge fan of, but like actually doing all the stuff I love. I can't remember the wizard. The wizard fight was fine. I didn't actually enjoy it that much. It was fine. I loved that whole not a Peter Capaldi fan. True. Thank you, Justin. I love that manner where the fucking... I haven't watched Doctor Who. I have never seen any Doctor Who. at all. It's so much. I don't know where to start. That fucking manor, like the guy's wife. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? The guy that Gaunter has you do the wishes for, his wife, the manor that they lived in. I love that. That entire sequence, entering the manor, fighting that groundskeeper. That was like a really cool fight in my head. The entering where you're being where you have to put together all the puzzle pieces, and the wraith is like, I loved all of that. That was great. Klein's hand shook, throwing Steel Mavetti's peacock blue flying carpet out in front of him. He wanted to finish the grazing before Mavetti's spirit body began dissipating. Throwing away the flying carpet, he took a step forward, stretched his left hand out, and extended 5 fingers, aiming at above the corpse that was still warm. Creeping hunger revealed its original appearance, a thin material that looked like it was made up of human skin. 2 eyes had split open in the middle of its palm. Its pupils were bright red, as though they were dyed in blood. Start with number 10, its peak. I need to fight. I don't know how to spell his name, so I'm just going to say Redhead. Where are you at, Bullseye? I can maybe get some. I can probably narrow it down, but Redhead, you need to give me more than Redhead. What? Doctor Who number 10? Like, you're talking about the 10th Doctor, right? Heart and Stone, the main guy? Okay. Heart and Stone, the main guy is Gaunter O'Dim, who's bald. Gaunter's bald, right? Gaunter O'Dim. Yeah, Gaunter's bald, so it can't be him. Did you watch Severance? I have not seen it, no, Nagito. I've heard really good things, though, but it just doesn't seem like the type of thing I'd be interested in. A bone-chilling breeze suddenly blew through the alley. And I also don't have Apple TV. It swirled around Steel Mavetti's corpse, twisting into an almost transparent human figure. One could vaguely see thick lips and curled hair that resembled steel beads. Yes for Doctor Who, and yes him, but he has... Gaunter O'Dim does not have red hair. What are we talking about? Bullseye, we're both talking about this guy, right? Believe me, Severance's Peak, you'll enjoy it. Okay, I can check it out. I can check it out. Like, that's... Where's the hair, brother? Okay. Sorry, I gotta change the music. We're just stuck in boss music at this point, fuck's sakes. No, the other guy? Who's the other guy? Oh, the guy that we're doing all the quests for? Is that it? Oh, he does have red hair. Yes, you're right. I think I know who you're talking about. Oh, right. Heart of Stone. Heart of Stone. Fuck, what the fuck was his name? Olgierd von Everec. He does have red hair. You're fighting him right outside his mansion, right? Alright, see you next stream, Romero. Yeah, sorry, we're not doing a whole lot of reading anymore. We're stuck in Witcher 3 talk at this point. You're fighting him outside his manor? It's a cool fight. I mean, good thing is I think you're allowed to lose that fight too. It kind of doesn't matter. I mean, it does for the guy you're trying to save. No, it doesn't even matter for the guy you're trying to save. Olgierd kills them all the same, so it literally doesn't even matter. Maveri's spirit body wore an abnormally pained expression as it tried its best to resist the suction of creeping hunger. As for the grayish-white, blackish-green dots of light, they were like a surging galaxy, quickly flying out from the body and merging into the transparent figure. I need to fight him, didn't do it my first playthrough. Oh, you just let him kill the other guy. Oh, I see. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you can fight him, but I mean, it's a decent, don't get me wrong, he has good, he has very good fight mechanics. He's very fast, but it's like, it doesn't matter. You can lose or win that fight. It really doesn't matter. I'm thinking of buying Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is like so good. I doubt you will. Because I don't even know where the fuck you would find the original edition nowadays. But please make sure you buy the complete edition or the Game of the Year edition or some other bullshit edition that has all the DLCs, not just the base game, please. They're like the same price nowadays. Just don't get scammed. Maveri let out a soundless scream. After already being too late to beg for mercy, all he could do was desperately slip in the human-skin glove, becoming attached to an empty finger, and revealing his Beyonder characteristic that connected with the environment to a certain degree. You can find it for like literally dirt cheap, dude. And nowadays you can literally find it for dirt cheap. It's not even funny. Let me see. How much is it on Steam for? Obviously, it's going to be different pricing for you. No shit, but... Are you kidding me? This is the first time I've ever seen it full price. What the fuck? Why is there no sale? What? Dishonored, like Dishonored the original or the real, or like, sorry, Dishonored the original or the second one? Yeah, like I can find it online for $18 right now. Obviously, I don't know what the pricing looks like in Egypt, Nagato, but like you can find it for like dirt cheap for what the game. Like I think something approximating like 300, 400 hours in the game. I don't know, some crazy amount. This connection determined that what powers would be usable when grazing Steel Maveri's soul. Perhaps it would be 1, 2, or but no more than 3 powers. I only ever played the first Dishonored. I only ever played the second. Klein had no choice over the number and details before they became fixed. It was purely random. Creeping hunger quickly blanketed its paleness and returned to its former disguised state, a plain black glove. Klein closed his eyes and sensed the changes for a few seconds before letting out a profound sigh. This time his luck wasn't too bad, nor was it too good. He succeeded in acquiring 3 Beyonder powers that belonged to Steel Maveri, but he didn't receive what he wanted most, a body of steel. The first is the power of a zombie, which allows me to unleash a critical attack, making up for my previous flaws of only having a nimble combat style. Did you play Emily or Corvo? Corvo, obviously. The second is mastery over ice. Although it's impossible to condense an ice spear or create a blizzard like that of the Demoness pathway to inflict a direct attack, I can freeze the surrounding ground, lower the temperature of the air, and effectively affect the movement of the enemy. If there's any physical contact, then I can even freeze the enemy's body or stiffen his flesh and blood. It's perfect match for my combat abilities. Thank you, username. The third is the manipulation of zombies. I no longer need to be afraid of not being able to have partners for a round of cards, Klein thought. He quickly found 26 pounds, 11 soline, 8 pence, as well as a collection of strange things that seemed normal, such as candle clips and a thorny whip and so on. Considering the fact that Steel Maveri was a member of the Rose School of Thought who belonged to the type of people who indulged in their desires, Klein understood what was vaguely going on. Spitting on the ground, he only took the cash. Werewolf has supernatural healing powers. Zombie has a body of steel. There's no need for him to carry any healing-related medicines or items. It says then it's concluded. Mavetti doesn't have any mystical items. That's right. Mystical items are few in number to begin with. Many have clear flaws and negative effects. I made my name Gehrman Sparrow. Nice. No, I have not been playing Night Rain. I need to, but in truth, I haven't even played the first DLC for Elden Ring, so I'm late as fuck. I have had no time at all to play games, dude. Not everyone can have one even if they want. Previously in the group consisting of a wraith, zombie, and werewolf, there were only 2 mystical items, the Scarlet Lunar Corona and the biological poison bottle. He unfolded the yellowish piece of paper and placed it on Steel Mavetti's body, covering his face. It was a bounty notice of Mavetti. 6,000 pounds. Hell yeah, my go. It's a different game? Yeah, I know. But all the same. It's Elden Ring, okay? I mean, in fairness, I really do want to... in all fairness, I really do want to fight the Nameless King again, that motherfucker. The Nameless King for me was the hardest boss I have ever played in any Souls-like game. Harder than Malenia, harder than anything. The Nameless King took me an eternity to beat. Oh my fucking god. By the way, if anyone has not played it, I cannot recommend Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and 2 enough, okay? They're both amazing. With the swing of his arm, his wrist shook and the paper figurine was thrown out. The Nameless King 5th try. It burst into flames before scattering into ashes. Soon after, he phased into a shadow and dispersed into the alley along with the items. 2 or 3 minutes later, Cordoba Roy rushed over with a portion of the Punisher's team, just in time to see a cool breeze blow up a bounty notice, revealing Mavetti's dissolving flesh and blood, his eyes wide open. The bounty notice fell to the side, remaining face up. Wait. Does Klein not get the bounty? What does this mean? Steel Mavetti's dissolving flesh and blood, his eyes wide open. Does Klein not get the bounty? What does this mean? If Klein doesn't get the bounty, I riot, bro. Fuck. Having lost their target, Cordoba and the others silently brought Steel's corpse back to the area where the battle had taken place. Glancing at the team members who were inspecting the site, Cordoba asked in a deep voice, "A believer of the sun?" This was the most important question for him and his diocese. The mandated Punishers team are responsible for finding clues via supernatural means to recreate the death of a Beyonder wasn't of the Storm pathway, but a Sequence 7 Knowledge Keeper responding to Reader known as Detective. He didn't rush to answer, but instead came over and squatted down to examine Mavetti's corpse. "It's not a believer of the sun. It's likely the use of an item." "Reason?" Cordoba asked. There's an evil feeling within that stems from flesh and blood. One of the corpses was devoured in such a manner, leaving only the body's traits and item. If it's a sun believer, they wouldn't do something like that, even if they relied on items. To them, things in the domain of the true creator are sacrilegious and require immediate purification or sealing. They likely wouldn't borrow its powers. "Someone from the Aurora Order?" Cordoba asked. "No, a real Rose Bishop or Shepherd wouldn't act so crudely. They definitely wrap the body within their body and deal with the scene after departing. There's no need to dismember the body on the spot. It's a waste of time that leaves a bunch of items that can be considered valuable. To devour him in a rush, it resembles that of a negative effect of a mystical item," the Knowledge Keeper said. "Mystical item that possesses powers in both sun and secret suppliant domain." Perhaps it's something with powers like that of a shepherd. Burge, what's your take? As a deacon, Cordoba had the clearance to know of a shepherd and their special abilities. As for the Knowledge Keeper knowing, it was a result from his position in the team. The other Punishers had no idea what they were talking about. Knowledge Keeper Burge stood up. It's possible. Any suspects? No. There are no suspects for the time being. But one thing can be confirmed. Blood Brambles was killed by Blazing Danitz. The other person is his helper, a rather terrifying powerhouse that's not weaker than a pirate admiral. Oh, let's go! My boy's stepping up in the world. A terrifying powerhouse. Could it be Edwina? She can simulate some beyond her powers which she has seen before. We can't rule out that possibility, but our intelligence shows she's in the vicinity of the Sonia Island a few days ago. Unless she can simulate a corresponding ability and use the spirit world to travel here. Deal with the scene and don't bring this to the attention of the nearby residents. I'll submit the mission report and let's hope we receive more effective information. This involved a powerhouse whose combat prowess was equivalent to at least a Sequence 5. Only he could restrain his I don't know what this fucking word is, bro. Irascible mood and made the most rational decision. Investigating Old Quinn's house in the basement with the heavy stone door sealed shut, Alger was sitting on the low bed, quietly looking at the candles on the table with his vision blurred. He saw the grey fog emanate with the Fool sitting on the high-backed chair. He clasped his hands and said, "Honorable Mr. Fool, the matter has come to a successful conclusion." Successful conclusion? This involves Steel Mavetti and other Beyonders. The world is efficient at handling matters. His strength is more than expected, as expected of a blessed of Mr. Fool. He might be able to sell another Beyonder characteristic at the Tarot Club, maybe even more than one. How did he get around the effects of 237? The uniqueness of a god's blessed? A thought flashed through Alger's mind, and he instinctively thanked Mr. Fool. Then he took out a small metal bottle, smeared the mint extract on the tip of his nose. Is this cocaine? What is this mint extract? A strong, irritating odor seeped into his head, instantly making Alger abnormally clear-headed. What's your top 5 best games and top 5 best you're still alive? Managed in 2 hours and Yark, how's it going, man? My top 5 games. I would have to think on that, Nagato. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking maybe because we're talking about it so much, but I'm probably gonna have to say Witcher 3. Number 2 would probably be Skyrim. I think I have to give it to it. Number 3, GTA 5, I think. Number 4, RDR2. Yes, Bullseye, agreed. I don't know what number 5 would be. Number 5 is a lot of places, man. You guys may hate me for this, but Modern Warfare 2, I think, for me, takes the cake. Modern Warfare 2 has to be number 5. That was my childhood, dude. Rust 1v1s. That was my fucking jam. With Intervention, I could do that shit forever. It has a special place in my heart. Was it a great game? Fuck no. But you know, nostalgia is a bitch, so fuck it. Top 5 hardest? I don't fucking know, dude. Skyrim, while objectively not amazing, has lasted so long for... Yeah, exactly. Top 5 hardest. I don't know. For me, Sekiro is like definitely up there. For me, I found Sekiro hard as fuck. Sekiro... These are all going to be Souls-like games, or Soulsborne games. Dark Souls 3. Elden Ring is like number 5. I'm going to put it on the list because it's up there, but... Ghost of Tsushima is an all-time. True, Ghost of Tsushima is an all-time. Fuck, I have so many hours on it. Fuck, but I can't put it on the list. I don't have space for it. DS3, Elden Ring would be like number 5. It probably doesn't even deserve to be that high because you can just, if shit gets hard, you can just straight up fucking get summons. You know, fuck with Night Rain. I haven't played Night Rain yet, Wes, so I can't speak to it yet. Sekiro, DS3, Bloodborne. I think Bloodborne was really hard for me because I've never been much of a get good parry, and I've never been much of a parry Andy, so it was hard for me to get used to parrying, and I had to. Eventually, I got pretty decent at it to the point where my fight with Gearman was unironically like 30 seconds. I still have the clip for it. I can probably find it. It was 30 seconds. It was parry into visceral, parry into visceral, parry into visceral. 2 regular hits to get him into the second phase. Parry visceral, dead. That was my entire. It was so fast. I burned through all 20 of my bullets, but I fucking beat his ass. That was disgusting what I did to that man. So Bloodborne was hard for me, and then I don't know what number 3 is on my hardest list, dude. I was watching Easy Geeky stream of Lord of the Mysteries, but got too far ahead to stay with him. You play Black Flag? I did play Black Flag a long time ago, Bullseye, but and I have good memories of it. I don't remember too much of it, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't have the best memory of, like, not to say like I have bad memories of it, I just don't remember it very much. So I think this would probably be on my list. Witcher 3, Skyrim, GTA 5, RDR2, Modern Warfare 2. Again, I know Modern Warfare 2 doesn't deserve to be here, but it is what it is. It's too much nostalgia for me to not have it there. Sekiro, my fucking death. Dark Souls 3 was hard, mainly because I was doing a strength playthrough for the first time, maybe, and you know, I wasn't used to having such high such like a ridiculous amount of frames to hit. Bloodborne, hard because I wasn't used to parries. Elden Ring, I don't know if it deserves to be on here because, again, you can just straight up fucking summon if it gets hard enough, but I'll toss it on. I don't know what number 3 is. I have no fucking clue. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. What are you reading on? Like, are you, Wes, are you asking, like, what site I'm reading on, or what are you asking? I was doing a Dark Souls 3 playthrough before Night Rain came out, but I haven't played it since. No. At some point, a white gauze mask appeared in his hand, and he slowly poured the full moon essence oil on it. After methodically putting on his mask, Alger stood up and slowly walked to the heavy stone. The site, one of my mods just sent me a EPUB with the entire, with all of Lord of the Mysteries on it. So I'm not technically using a site. I don't know where the EPUB comes from. Couldn't fucking tell you though. The reader is Thorium. I just realized today a new anime episode day, so if you're still streaming in an hour, I'll be back. New, what episode? For what anime? What? I'm so confused. I'm going to be done in almost exactly an hour, Bullseye, so I probably won't see you. But I'll talk to you later, buddy. With a steady series of movements, he retrieved a sealed metal jar from the side of his clothes, twisted the mechanical switch, and pulled out a tube. He then stuffed the tube into the crevice of the stone door and extended it out. Without a sound, the gas inside the metal container started to emanate. This was the sanguine anesthetic provided by the moon. It can knock out strong commoners and sequence 9 beyonders with strong bodies, even higher sequences who were lacking in their constitution. I'm now reading chapter 568. I see. Even if old Quinn can resist the gas, he would still be significantly affected. As for his helpers and friends, Alger leaned against the door and waited patiently. He waited when nearly a third of the gas was dispersed from the jar. He pulled the tube back and closed the switch. He turned around and listened attentively before receiving a satisfactory answer. Alger revealed a faint smile. He rapidly converged his aura and compressed it inside him. Suddenly, the muscles on his body bulged, and he threw a punch forward. Raging blow. The iron lock on the heavy stone door directly shattered, and the door opened itself up. Alger withdrew his fist and walked out, leaving only the sleeping figures inside. Okay, 529, tacitness. Good lord. Show easier list? Sure. So, top 5 games of all time, hardest games. Witcher 3, I think it's got to be my number 1 all time. In terms of playtime, it's GTA 5 by like a long shot, but it's but my favorite of all time is probably Witcher 3. Skyrim, because I feel like it deserves to be here with how many playthroughs I had of it over the years. I think Skyrim, like, the more I say this, I feel like Minecraft should also realistically be here if I'm putting playtime that high, but yeah, Minecraft is just a whole separate thing. I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if Easy heard that. If he didn't, I can repeat it. It's fine. And then GTA 5, Red Dead 2, Modern Warfare 2. Hardest games. Sekiro. Dude, I'm not a parry Andy, okay? And I can't get the fucking timing right for Sekiro. I fucking hate that game. God damn it. DS3, because it was the first time I was doing a strength run, and my god, it took it out of me. I don't know, number 3, I don't know what it's there. Bloodborne, number 4, because again, I wasn't a parry or visceral Andy, so it took a while, but eventually I did get it, because I feel like the timings on viscerals were more generous, at least to me. It felt like it, so I put it here. Elden Ring up at 5th, but I don't even know if Elden Ring deserves to be here, because shit hits the fan, you can just summon, so fuck it. Alright, let me change the title really quickly. I need to make my own. Yeah, let me know what your... yeah, I'd be happy to... I'm excited to see what yours would look like. My fucking god, I can't talk. I'm so sleepy. Jesus Christ. Dude, Red Dead 2, the first time I finished it, I finished Arthur's part. We then switched to John's POV. I didn't pick up the game for like a week. I was like, dude, I don't want to play as John. Fuck him. Like, I want Arthur back. I eventually did finish it, and then, yeah, and then once I started playing it again, it was like, I got through almost all of it, and so first I got stuck when, like really early in the game, Micah goes to jail and you have to rescue him. I just did everything I could think of, and not rescuing Micah out of jail. I was like, let that piece of shit rot forever. Eventually I did save him, and then right up at the end, I kept doing everything to avoid the final mission with Arthur, because I was like, fuck, I really don't want him to die. I like how in the good ending, John talks complete shit about you the entire time. Yeah, but that's what good friends do, right? Or even more so, that's what brothers do for sure. 48, Acid Lemon Street. What in the actual fuck is this name? I feel like I've read this 4 times now, but I'm actually comprehending it now. Acid Lemon Street? What the fuck is this name? Outside the Wind Azure Inn. Dressed in a thick black jacket and pantaloons, Blazing Dan it's returned by taking a detour. He clung to the corner of a wall, remaining motionless for a long time, hesitating on whether to take the opportunity to run away and not face the terrifying madman, Gehrman Sparrow, again. Unlike the battle at Bansi Harbor, he was hiding on a rooftop far away this time. It allowed him to take in the entire battle zone. Therefore, while supporting Gehrman and battling Blood Bramble's Hendry, he saw the combat prowess of the crazy adventurer and finally grasped his powers and traits. Gehrman Sparrow is the current owner of Creeping Hunger. He didn't feel any sense of belittlement simply because Gehrman had relied on a powerful item to display such terrifying strength. Instead, he felt even more reverence for him. The reason for this was just one. A large part of using a mystical item to its fullest ability has to do with one's ability. Without sufficient strength and extraordinary combat prowess, even with creeping hunger, Gehrman wouldn't have been able to finish off Steel Mavetti and Calm Squall within 10 seconds. That is crazy fast. No, he was like, yeah, he was a bad guy, and in the end he glazes you. Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, I don't know where this quote is from, but it's like, they were bad people, but they were like my bad people, you know? Like, it's the whole, like, the devil you know versus the devil you don't, like that sort of thing, where, like, John understood that everyone in the gang was a bad person. There was no one there who was a good person. But it was that Arthur genuinely, at least as the game went on, like probably after the first act, he actually did genuinely try to become a better and better person, especially once he got the tuberculosis, my fucking god, yeah, especially once he got sick, he was like genuinely trying to be a good person. If you did a bad playthrough with Arthur, I don't fucking ever want to speak to you, okay? Fuck you. I can never bring myself to do a bad Arthur play, like a low honor, Arthur playthrough. I can never bring myself to do it. Arthur's my go every time. Like, if we were Nazis, they'd... okay, balls. Okay, don't get philosophical on me, little shit. Although there's another factor of where the fuck am I? 2. His captain, Vice Admiral Edwina Edwards, learned from the secret source that Vice Admiral Hurricane didn't die at the hands of the Church of Storm, but instead he was killed by a particular powerhouse while fleeing. Dennett had no lack of understanding regarding the power of the Vice Admiral Hurricane. Back when he was at his peak, he knew that the standing of a powerhouse which could quickly finish him off was equal to that of the top pirates. Furthermore, it would be two of the most terrifying and powerful ones, the King of the Sea and Queen Mystic. Although there's factors of surprise, it would just lower the evaluation a little bit. The person wouldn't be much weaker than the King of Immortality, and they'll be stronger than Admiral Hell and Admiral of Blood. Creeping Hunger now belongs to Gehrman Sparrow. This means that he's either the one who killed the Rear Admiral, or there's a power figure at the level of the Four Kings backing him. The latter. No matter which, it's all the more terrifying than I originally expected. He didn't want to face the adventurer who had crazy blood flowing in him. He heaved a sigh of relief. He felt that he'd been hesitating for too long and had to make a decision now. Gehrman knows how to divine, and he's very confident in his abilities in this domain. With my shadow cloak in his hands, escaping won't only fail, but would also end up infuriating him. Shadow Cloak is a rare item. Clenching his teeth, Dennett turned the corner and went through the door of the hotel all the way to the luxurious suite. After a few seconds of careful waiting and observation, Dennett took out his key and opened the door. He saw that the room was dark, that the gas wall lights hadn't been lit, and that the not very bright light of the early morning was shining through the window onto Gehrman, who was facing the door. The adventurer had changed back into his usual tweed black overcoat and dark trousers. He held a half-top hat in his hand, and his right foot was raised over his left thigh. He leaned back a little, his face obscured since his back was to the window. Only with his dark brown eyes, which were exceptionally clear, watched the door with indifference and calmness. Dennett lowered his head and laughed. In accordance with your instructions, I circled to a few news agencies and wrote the information that Blazing had killed Steel Mavetti, Blood Brambles, Henry, and Squall on pieces of paper and threw them in. Of course, I mentioned having a powerful helper in this piece of news, a mysterious, unknown top adventurer and unknown bounty hunter. Klein nodded, revealing a polite smile. Very good. With a sign of relief, Dennett looked around and saw the peacock blue carpet. He was stunned for a few seconds before asking, "What about the heads of Steele and Henry?" "It wasn't taken." "You didn't take them? Then what about our bounty?" Dennett asked. As long as they had the heads of Steele and Blood Brambles, they'd be able to get the appropriate bounty through connections. Although this would cost them 15 to 30% of the money received, he couldn't claim the bounty himself as a pirate. This was the only way, as the military and church's use of bounty rewards was to encourage pirates to kill each other, didn't mean that they would turn a blind eye to a gift that came walking through the door. To Danitz's surprise, Gehrman's eyes, Gehrman, whose eyes were crazed with the desire for money, had actually not taken the heads of steel and blood brambles, which meant that he had automatically given up the bounty. God, he gave up like $6,000. I'm so ticked. I never asked, what's your opinion on the cooperation between Alder? I assume you mean to say cooperation. Good. I think it's good. I think Klein gets a better understanding of Alder. Alder gets a better understanding of, well, Alder gets the better understanding that Klein would want for Alder to have of the Fool. He gets to see that he has a blessed who's so powerful, whatever. So it's good. I presume though we won't get to see them too. We won't get to see too much of them interacting, but either way, to his yes. Klein didn't answer him and pointed at the flying carpet on the ground and said, "You have helped in this. You have two choices. One is 3,000 pounds in cash or this flying carpet. You have 5 seconds to consider. Exceeding that time will be considered forfeiting." 3, 2, the flying carpet. Okay, Klein nodded. With the knowledge that Gehrman had great credibility, Danitz finally calmed down and said, "Why didn't you count 5, 4? Wasn't it supposed to be 5 seconds?" Klein replied without changing expression, "Counted inwardly." Dude, he's such a dick. Counted inwardly. Danitz took a deep breath and grimaced. Klein stood up, flicked his wrist, and threw his hat from his hand, left it hanging on the rack before walking to his bedroom. I don't understand. Why did Klein not... Wait. Did Klein not do it? Wait, did Klein not... I don't know why Klein didn't take Steele's body. I don't get it. I assume he's going to get a portion through Alder. But why have a portion? We can get all of it. Fuck 'em. Cathedral of Waves. Alder, who had entered in the name of coming for morning prayers, met the diocese bishop, Chogo, who explained everything that happened last night. Chogo nodded in approval. To be able to go deep into the enemy's lair and bear the risk of death for your faith, such an act is worthy of praise. You are a true storm attendant. Last night, we captured 5 Beyonders and killed 2 of them on the spot. As a result, Mavedi, Henry, Squall are also dead. The heads of these pirates will no longer appear, or they will be in our hands. The bounty will be ours. The total receivable reward will exceed 10,000 pounds, and you will receive the bulk of it, which is 6,000. Do not refuse. The Lord has told us that those who fight for their faith must not be reserved. Holy Lord of Storm. An excited Alder pounded his left chest with his fist. Although he and the world didn't agree on how to split the spoils of war, he believed that the two of them had come to a tacit understanding. For example, they would not interfere with each other when hunting pirates, as the bounty needed to be laundered through the church, and the two of it would split it evenly. Oh, that's why he offered him $3,000? He kind of understood this too? That's why he would offer him $3,000, because that was his portion of the bounty, I guess? As for the bounty offered by the countries and organizations such as Intis and Fasak, Alder didn't hold expectations for them. This was because every time one exchanged for the bounty reward, they would need to hand over the corpse or the head. Therefore, only one entity could be chosen. Only those with a deep background and good relations with various organizations could receive them all. £3,000 will belong to the world. If I were to lose £3,000 at once, it would raise suspicion. Yes, I'll find an opportunity to buy a mystical item. Such things are rare and often overpriced, so no one will doubt I spent $5,000 on one, even if it's worth only $3,000. If I sell the item obtained from Old Quinn, the ones he had received, the accounts would be squared. Knowing that he had 3,000 pounds waiting for him, Klein happily sat at the high-backed chair of the fool and considered a serious question. That is, grazing Steel Mavetti, he had to release a soul from creeping hunger as promised. Their Beyonder powers are quite useful. It's a pity to release them before finding a replacement. Besides, I've already released that Faceless. There doesn't seem to be a need to do this. Feelings of hesitation and reluctance to part stirred in Klein's heart. After a long time, he leaned back and exhaled. I can't deceive myself. He decided to keep his promise and release a soul. The Faceless from before had been released early, only because he wanted to receive some information. Which do I release now? Miss Justice bought the materials of a psychiatrist and a mystical item worth 5,500 pounds. Even if she's rich, her financial situation should be tight, so it wouldn't be appropriate to sell her the psychiatrist item characteristic at this time. Yes, she still owes my blessed 2,000 pounds and will pay in a month or two. Klein rejected the idea and decided to release the Nightmare. As a former Nighthawk, he always had an inclination and felt gratitude based on his impression and feeling towards Beyonders in this domain. Calming himself, Klein picked up the human-skin glove, closed his eyes, and began to sense the distorted souls. Without any hesitation, he released the Nightmare. Good man, good lad. 5:30, last chapter. Whoa, I'm like 20 minutes ahead of time, is that right? He still cares about Nighthawk so much? Yeah, that makes sense. I appreciate that. Oh no, I'm actually right on time. What the fuck? I only scheduled 8 chapters for today and not 9? Interesting. Okay. I'm right on time. Fuck it. You locked in or something? No, I'm actually right on time, username. I just can't count. So, the Nightmare appeared by the side of the long bronze table. He was you see, this is what happens when you stream without mods. It's not without mods, Nagita. It's just that chat is quiet today, which is a-okay, mind you. I get it. But now, last time the chat was so much more active. We were talking. Plus, I was like theory crafting and shit, so it took out so much time. The Taiwanese version has artwork of the outfit Alger was wearing when meeting Gearman. Oh, cool. He was a man in his 30s with black hair and blue eyes, a long thin face and obvious nasolabial folds. He had a beard that wasn't too thick by his mouth and chin. Take your time. Okay. I think everyone went to sleep. Dude, username, I'm falling asleep. Fuck, man. No, easy. I gotta try to get as much done before the Donghua comes out, because I want to be able to make videos on it and speak about it semi-coherently. And the more I understand about Volume 1, it's literally like every sentence that you read in Volume 1 that doesn't make any sense makes sense after you finished. So like I'm trying to finish this bitch as fast as possible. I should be done Volume 3 before the Donghua comes out. But yeah, we're trying to make this bitch work as fast as possible. It's perfect time for me to wake up 6 a.m. Go the fuck to sleep, username. Jesus Christ, man. I think the only videos. Because like I do. So many things make women. Yeah, exactly. Because my content has always been more like analytical and stuff anyway. That's a big word. I talk about the mad ramblings I hear in my brain. Calling it analytical might be a bit of a stretch, but I think you get the point. So like I have so many ideas of videos I want to make for when the Donghua comes out. I have tactic. I'm not sleepy. I okay. Can I show you guys something? This is a gentleman. Sorry. Okay, in time, he's gonna watch this VOD in like 2 or 3 weeks, and he's in for a fucking thing at that point. But fuck it, I don't really care. Okay, this is a gentleman who has what I have. Like I have seen him progress through my first ever VOD, all the way up until chapter 450. So like he's watched a lot of VODs. Okay, this motherfucker's watched nearly 400 chapters of my VODs. And this motherfucker will never leave a nice comment. It's always some bullshit like this. Like he'll always leave he'll leave a comment so often, it's always some shit like this. It's never been anything nice ever. God bless him. Hey, fuck it. It's his God-given right, whatever. Fuck, man. He has never, ever written anything remotely nice. But I also don't reply to him because I'm like, I don't know how to. So, like, occasionally I'll just heart it. I'm like, okay, have fun. Oh, fuck. I just thought it was so funny. Haters gotta hate, respect the grind. Dude, actually, like, this motherfucker has been more active than, like, 90% of you, okay? He will comment on, like, every other VOD, and he's like, hey, he left a comment, like, maybe yesterday or, like, 2 days ago that was like, how did you miss an entire paragraph? That's so stupid. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, dude, shit happens. What are you hassling me for? God bless the dude, you know, love him to death, but god damn, he's never written a nice thing ever. 400 chapters of VODs. Compared to the Faceless from before, the Nightmare was obviously not as muddle-headed and weak after being released. It was unknown if the Evernight pathway's enhancement to one's soul was stronger than that of a Seer pathway, or if it was because the grazing process only happened recently. Tough love? Yeah, maybe. Milo should never. I mean, you saw how he dropped his novel. Why did you die at the hands of the Rear Admiral? I'm a Red Glove from the Nighthawks. Oh, shit. Are we going to get some shit? Okay. I'm a Red Glove from the Nighthawks. I was tracking down a bunch of ancient chronicles that originated from the Balaam Imperial Tomb. We suspected that they were related to the reason for Death's passing. I found out that a part of it might have fallen into the hands of a particular tycoon. So I led two companions of mine and boarded the ship he was on. Unfortunately, we were attacked by the Rear Admiral's fleet just as we were about to launch an investigation. What happened to your companions? Klein asked subconsciously. I have to add this to my notes. A bunch of ancient chronicles that originated from a Balaam Imperial tomb. They were related to the reason for Death's passing. I don't know, this doesn't mean anything to me right now, but I'm for sure, like, I know that in 80 chapters, this is going to become important or some bullshit. We originally planned to leave and kill the Rear Admiral through our skillful teamwork, but our ship sank, and we had to board a lifeboat instead. Everyone died. No, they were killed in the line of duty. May the goddess bless you. Klein drew a crimson moon inwardly. This made him aware of the great difference between fighting at sea and on land. Environmental factors were of great importance. I'm gonna just write this in my notes. Wait, could this be the reason that Leonard was also seen in... The plot thickens. Beyonders not from the sailor pathway would be at a great disadvantage. If it wasn't because of the fact that the flying carpet had been huge, cumbersome and slow, and made him an easy target, Klein would have opted to keep it and give Dan its cash. Fortunately, I have the bladder of a Murloc and can find an artisan to create a mystical item that allows me to swim underwater. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to find an artisan. Most of them are from the Church of Steam of God and Machinery, and there aren't many unaffiliated ones. Otherwise, mystical items wouldn't be so rare. If push comes to shove, I'll get the Hanged Man to help. Klein leaned back. What's your name? What unfulfilled wishes do you have? My name is Davy Raymond. I lost my parents, wife, and siblings in a black magic incident, leaving me with only one daughter, Nilu. She was born in 1330 and is a very lovely girl. I'm sorry to say that in order to investigate the truth behind the black magic incident, I joined the Nighthawks and became a Red Glove. I did manage to spend time with her, making her lose her father alongside her mother. I believe that the church will definitely give her my pension and secretly provide her a certain amount of help. I'm not worried about her, but I only hope to see her enter the Hall of Marriage under the witness of the goddess, to have a family of her own, and not be lonely anymore. It's already the year 1350. She may have already married, Klein said wistfully. Time flies. Tell her that all the culprits have been punished and that I died because of an accident. There is no need to hate anyone. Tell her that Daddy loves her and is very, very sorry. Oh, that's so sweet. His figure became more and more transparent. He was about to disappear. Klein closed his eyes and asked, "Where does she live? What's the name of the tycoon who collected Death Chronicles?" "We live in Desi Bay's Content City. Conant City, good lord. It's a beautiful seaside city with rich rubber plantations growing nearby. If she hasn't moved, she'll be at 67 Red Indus Street. The tycoon's name is Jimmy Necker. He should have fallen into the hands of the Rear Admiral as well." Before Davy Raymond finished speaking, his body already completely disappeared, leaving only a deep black gem-like object on the surface of the glove. Klein watched the scene and after a few seconds raised his right hand and tapped his chest 4 times in a clockwise manner and said, "If there's a chance, I will visit your daughter to see how she's doing." Yes, yes, thank you, Nagito. I guess eventually we're gonna go to Desi Bay. Fair enough. In the palace, which looked like a giant's residence, the fog was endless and without any undulations, and was eternally unchanging. Klein put away Davy's Beyonder characteristic and turned his attention back to the Death Chronicles. The Death pathway and the Evernight pathway can be switched at higher sequences. There's nothing odd about the church sending personnel to investigate the corresponding chronicles. I wonder if Jimmy Necker is dead. I'll need to find out. If he's already perished in a tragic case, and the thing has fallen into the Rear Admiral's hands, that will require me to investigate from the priest's side. The Rear Admiral's crew now belongs to Vice Admiral Ailment Tracy. As it involves death, it might be able to help Mr. Azek. Klein decided to check it out himself, and if he encountered any difficulty, he could write to the powerhouse. After clearing his mind, he returned to the real world, and used the ritual to summon Creeping Hunger back. After everything was done, and seeing that it was already getting late, he gave up on the idea of trying to catch up on sleep, and decided to summarize the experiences and lessons from last night's operation. It's 10:35, I just woke up. It's 1:30 here, so I need to go to bed soon. The biggest lesson for Klein was that he had overestimated the patience of the Punishers. He had hoped that even if an accident occurred in the beginning, the Punishers would have been able to restrain him and wait for the real target, Steve Mavetti, to appear. Steel Mavetti to appear, good lord. When that happens, they definitely would have used the sealed artifact and pulled many people into a dream, restraining all the unaffiliated Beyonders who found themselves in a blitz. As for me, with my uniqueness, I can detect when I'm asleep and forcibly escape. Then I could have dealt with Steel Mavetti and his helpers in a composed manner, completing an achievement of an instant kill, and bring the two corpses with me. If it wasn't because Steel Mavetti's group of pirates were more cautious and had at least 2 Beyonders assigned, as well as their puppets and zombies to help the Punishers that might have pursued them, Klein likely would have found himself in a situation of going 2 against 5. If that happened, he would have chosen to give up and directly engage in a strategic shift. What made Klein most satisfied was that he had done a pretty good job of specific preparations. That was the professional habit of a magician. Because he had long known from Miss Sharon and Merrick about the traits of the first 5 sequence of the mutant pathway, Klein was well aware that Steel Mavetti, who had gone through the lunatic phase, could use irrational factors to resist Beyonder disruption and influence on his mind. He had a strong resistance in this manner. Therefore, he gave up the thought of using the psychiatrist Dragon's Might and Frenzy as well as Nightmare, which was clearly weaker than the Punisher's sealed artifact, and instead used the Interrogator's Psychic Piercing and the Priest of Light's Purification effect. Psychic Piercing wasn't a Beyonder power that disrupted one's thought and affected one's mind, but it's a means to attack directly the spirit body. In essence, the other affected on the body of heart and mind and targeted the soul body. There was a clear difference. If any part of that combo failed to chain in any way, Steel Mavetti would have been able to recover, making it impossible for me to kill him that quick. And in that environment, that would spell failure. Yes. I've used the pathway's trait of losing themselves to desire, making it easy to grasp their emotions. I believe that once they've suffered a psychic damage, there'd be a high chance of them counteracting in madness without any consideration. In fact, the safest way of dealing with a zombie is to set up matchsticks or have Danets. I'll use Flaming Jump and Light of Holiness, kiting Mavetti. I'll make him want to battle but be completely unable to reach me. He wouldn't escape even if he wanted to, just send a fireball and catch up to him. Fortunately, it's a waste of time, and the situation didn't allow for it. Klein took out his pocket watch, snapped it open, and checked the time. How many layers of body do you know? I don't even know what the fuck that question is referencing, dude. Klein saw, seeing that it was almost 9 in the morning, he turned the handle of the door and walked out of the bedroom. At this moment, Danitz was lying in a reclining chair, producing snores that sounded like a steam engine and was operating in the room. I know of the spirit body and the physical body. That's about it, Nagato. Not much, man. Are you going out? Danitz asked when he saw Gehrman take off his hat from the coat rack. Yes. What about me? Steel Mavetti, and his men are almost dead, so I don't have to worry about that. Even if the newspapers don't publish the news, I can spread it myself. There are idle pirates and adventurers who will use it as material for bragging, and spread the matters to the sea and end up informing the captain. Danitz thought for a moment before asking, Mr. Sparrow, Can I leave now? You've always been free. That's right. I wasn't caught by him this time. I was just looking for help. I've always been free. Daniels was stunned for a moment before he was delighted. But you read the body of mind and soul literally 1 minute ago? Body of mind and isn't that literally just the body of... Hold on, I'll read it again in a second. But right at that moment, he heard Gehrman Sparrow's voice lightly fleeting towards him. But that ends now. Huh? It took him no less than 3 seconds to understand what Gehrman meant. He had been captured again. Why? I want to meet your captain. What do you want? I have some things to ask her. He said, oh, you know how you didn't leave before I said you could leave? Yeah? Big mistake. You really fucked up there. He's like, what? Okay, the other effect acted on one's body of heart and mind and targeted the soul body? What the fuck does that even mean, bro? So there's 3 bodies now? Body of heart and mind, physical body, soul body? But then what is a mind? I'm so confused. Are you alright? Okay, yeah. Alright. We're gonna leave it there, guys. I'm so fucking sleepy. We're gonna leave it there. I will talk to you guys tomorrow for yet another stream. Good lord. Body of heart and mind is one thing? Yeah, body of heart and mind is one thing. Soul body's one, the physical body's another. That's 3 bodies, I guess. Okay, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks everyone for another great stream. If you're new here and are interested, consider joining the description, link in the description. Consider joining the Discord, link in the description. I'm clearly very sleepy. I'm going to bed. Have a great rest of your night or day, guys, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Thank you.